Hello and welcome to Garblag Games. Tonight we have our third and final world building session using Worlds Without Number, which hopefully you can see on the screen, which is the recent RPG release from Kevin Crawford and Nomine Publishing.
Sine
Nomine, sorry, miss out that middle bit there. There's too many ups and downs going on. So, tonight we're doing our third session of world building in my World Mountain setting. Hello, everybody in chat. Ben has reluctantly joined me once again to do that.
Oh, yes, that's so reluctant. Oh, I feel
Ben,
so
otherwise
forced.
known as World Builder 101, is here to kick me into shape and give awesome ideas, as they already have over the last two episodes. And we're following
producing, which is very
You
exciting.
are producing, which is fantastic. Thank you very much, Ben. Before we get into it, there were just a few things that I wanted to say. I've had enough. No. Last week, we hit a little milestone of 1,000 followers on the channel. I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who's joined us on our Twitch journey. It's been ups and downs and the craziness of live streaming, which is great. It's been a lot of fun, and what's been awesome is that we've been able to expand the group of people that we play games with directly, and through that we have built a larger community with nearly 450 people on our Discord, all getting together to talk about role-playing games, movies, TV, books, and all kinds of other things, and it's a fantastic community. So thank you to everyone who's joining us on our journey. We also have over 3,100 subscribers on YouTube, which is just crazy, and that's another milestone. Hitting 3k subs on there has been absolutely fantastic. So thank you everyone who's joining us. That is great. Thank you for changing the stream title. There you go. One of the other things about Twitch that often gets left behind. Good friends of the channel right now are running a Kickstarter. Our friends over at Diesel Shot, who we were hosting on the channel up until a few minutes ago. Thank you, Onamichi, for the cheer there. That's well. Diesel Shot, who we were hosting on the channel up until a few minutes ago, are doing the Changed Stars Kickstarter, which funded in 5 hours. And Ben, you're probably better placed to describe the Changed Stars because you're running.
Because we're running it, yeah.
Yeah.
So the second part of that's going to be on Friday. It is a feminist, socialist, forward-thinking, utopian sci-fi setting with space otters.
Space otters!
And have head tentacles.
They do have head tentacles. I think everyone has some sort of tentacle, don't they, in that name?
It is a beautiful setting, and the guys over at Diesel Shot have spent ages working on it, and it really shows. You've got some fabulous art, you've got brilliant world building, loads of interesting and innovative takes on the sci-fi genre and some of the tropes therein.
Yeah, so there's some nice twists on those kind of usual things you might find, and there's just a little take on it, which is nice. And you'll have seen Pat's been on the channel a few times. She's playing in the Change Stars game, in her own game, which is great, and has been in a few other things on the channel. A fantastic source of energy for any stream. Pat's given some great artwork to us in our Traveller show, Feudal Stars, and you'll be able to see loads of Pat's fantastic artwork in Change Stars. It's got that real. It's nice. It has the modern subject matter and style, but with that old school medium of the black and white and the hatching. It's a good. I think that as well is a nice fusion. So that's cool. So I've just put a link in the chat, so go and check out the Diesel Shot Change Stars Kickstarter. As I said, it's already funded, so they'll be, tapping up those stretch goals and looking to see how far they can go. I backed it earlier on today, and I'm looking forward to that later in the year, so that'd be cool. Also, we've had a change to our schedule for the week. Obviously, we're not doing Traveller on Thursday. We're taking a short break. Just to let you all know, we will be doing Age of Sigmar Soulbound for a few weeks, just to have a bit of a palate cleanse. And then we'll be coming back to Traveller after that. Assuming we don't get carried away and start doing a massive mega Age of Sigmar campaign, but who knows? And Ben, Dan, Leon, and Simon will be playing in that one. And Simon is playing a wizard. Already asked me a question about bees on the Discord.
He did. He asked you a question about bees and ice razors.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. But the good thing about that is it's super heroic, full on fantasy. And I've realised today, reading through it, hang on, this is Warhammer mashed up with Planescape, and that's two things that I really like. So I'm actually really enjoying reading it. So I got the starter set, so we'll be using that. So it'll be the kind of slightly simple version of the game, but we'll be doing that. And we'll have part 2 of Change Stars on Friday. That's just a 2-parter. Finishing that off, and of course tomorrow we've got the lovely hygienic Once Upon a Time in the Old World, where Jim is freaking his players out and making them laugh, and they're having a really great Warhammer time. It is fantastic. I was catching up with that at the weekend whilst doing the chores, and the fight with the ogre and all that stuff is just fantastic. But yeah, cool. Anyway, let's get on with the show. So we have been building out part of my Wild Mountain setting and looking at some islands between two land masses, one being where lots of civilizations are, and the other being the World Mountain itself, and no one's really there, or are they? And there are some islands in between, and these islands have kind of had falling from above because of the structure of my world. And there's all kinds of things going on, aren't there, Ben?
Yes. So what we've got up on screen at the minute is the first set of islands as you head mountainwards from Erubag, because it's not north, south, east and west. No,
it's not, because it's a flat disc-like world with there's multiple layers all joining a huge planet-sized mountain.
So the islands that we're starting off with today are going to be the Pirate Islands, which is what they're called at the minute. We may give them a little bit more of a fancy name. We might come up with it. Yeah. But the Pirate Islands are the first ones. They act as a kind of barrier between Erubag and the rest of the island chain, apart from the G place further down that's not south. Gomar, that's the one.
Yep. That's cool. So we had, and you'll probably be able to find them in our Discord if you're on there. I know everyone in chat is, but if you're watching back later, then you come and join us on our Discord, and in our world building channel, I think we've dropped most of the maps at some point. And yeah, today what we've done previously is we've done the world level in the first session, we've done a region level in the second session, and today what we're going to do is a bit of kingdom level world building. This is the kind of structure that Kevin Crawford set out in Worlds Without Number. And for those following along at home, we'll be turning to book page 119 or 123 total out of the PDF. So I'm showing you guys the free PDF that you can get on DriveThruRPG right now. We give away 2/3 of the book free, which is pretty cool. The basic character creation, the rules, the world building stuff. Then there's a load of Gaia specific, that's the setting that Kevin Crawford has in the book. Some advanced things and some extras that you can get your hands on if you buy the full PDF or the book. It's a lovely book, so it's well worth it. The RPG is pretty streamlined. I think that's the right word. And the world building is kind of the more meaty section of the book. And there's lots of things to expand on. So today we're going to talk about the pirate kingdom, and just to remind people, the pirates are one of 6 nations in this region. We have the pirates, we have the Aarakocra, what was the word? Regressed tribal community. We have the tunnelers who are nearby to the pirates, and sort of govern this area that's combined all underground by ancient stronghold that fell from the sky and landed in the ocean. We've got settlers who have come from the south to explore, and they're a bit knackered because they had a plague. That was their fun feature, event that we rolled up last time. There's the Tritons who are living in and around in the ocean, and they're a bit enigmatic and hidden away. They're giving information to the pirates because the pirates are happy to have a go at everyone else who's trying to plunder the seas. And then you've got the gnomes who came from the people who fell down from above, because gnomes come from Glorim, the realm above, and they crashed.
Nice place, great weather.
It's lovely. It's lovely. As long as you don't mind giant spiders.
And all the undead.
All the undead, absolutely. And they've kind of the leftover of their society that didn't slip into the dream realm, because we figured that it was some sort of, Evil Gilmore, thank you for subscribing for your 5th month in a row. That's fantastic. We figured their kind of goings on were what caused the accident, and this city collapsed, smashing into the ground below. So these gnomes that survived and took some Minotaur refugees. I love it. Took some Minotaur refugees in, which we rolled up as a random event. We did a bit of faction stats and things, because there's a faction turn process that you can engage in, where each faction has some stats, and each turn they get to do certain actions, and we'll be doing that as part of the game, because I should say that in 2 weeks' time we will be starting. We're going to do a May the 4th Star Wars special, I think, next Tuesday, and then after that we're going to start a Worlds Without Number show, and we'll do character creation, etc., and we'll be doing faction turns, and we'll probably do them on the Discord, in the background somewhere along the way, or I might do them and record them and put them on the Patreon. So we got to that stage, and then we thought, right, okay, we kind of call it off there. We can play around with it. Created some more zoomed in maps so that we can have a bit more detail for you guys to see, and then we would delve into the pirates first.
Yeah.
So, kingdom level.
One of the first things I noticed in the kingdom level message was the first comment is pick a linguistic touchstone.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. I love the use of linguistics in world building, because it can really help to shape the world that you're trying to do. One of the big complaints and comments that a lot of TTRPG Twitter is looking at the minute is that there is an overabundance of medieval Europe analogues and not enough diversification either into other cultures, which you don't necessarily want to do because you don't want to be appropriating other cultures, but also
Absolutely.
You've got the whole opportunity to build whole new societies, and it kind of does fantasy the dirty a little bit when you use the fact that magic exists as a way of just overlooking all the normal stuff. So you've got medieval Europe, but magic replaces taps and things like that.
Yeah.
When fundamentally you change absolutely everything with the addition of magic and flying creatures.
Absolutely.
And an ocean above you.
I was thinking about this today, actually, because the nature of the world is such that if you think about a sailor setting out from Erebag, there is no limit to the horizon because the world is flat.
But there's also no stars because above you there's an ocean.
Well, you can kind of see stars. There's
outside,
a layer above you, but you can kind of see a panoramic view of stars beyond the world mountain, and then the sun goes around, and when it goes behind the world mountain, that's when you have nighttime. So it's a very different world, and it got me thinking things like crow's nests would be less effective, because the whole point is, when you go up higher, you can see further because of the curvature of the earth. But you may not need things like that. So even and I suppose that's kind of the magical nature of this world. How is it different? How is it completely different to our world? And what would that make people think about and name things and build things? As they're kind of going out and exploring this world. It was just a similar kind of thought that why rely on the existing? Why not try something a bit different?
Big waves. I like there's a line in here that says places often end up as the city of adjective noun or the noun river.
Yes, absolutely.
It's an easy trap to fall into.
I did see an interesting video on YouTube. I'll have to dig it out and put a link in the video description on YouTube afterwards. But it was talking about naming, but it was from a historical perspective and saying, how have people named things in the past, and who's named them often tells you something about what's going on at that location. Like the Pirate Island, would the Arabag people know it as one thing, and the Pirate Islanders would know it as another? And what name would everybody else call it out of those names?
Well, there's a particularly brilliant example in England, in Cumbria. There is a place called Torpenhow Hill.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing about that is that Tor is Old English for hill. Yep. Pen is Old Welsh for hill. How is Old Norse derivation from the word hauger, which is hill. Yep. So Torpenhow Hill is actually called Hill.
Well, hill, high hill.
Yes.
It's like the Sahara Desert. That's desert.
Yeah.
That's
how names evolve and develop over time. You end up with places called utterly ridiculous things.
Well, it's because there's successive generations of people with different languages as well, aren't there? So people call it the Sahara, and then the other people who don't know what Sahara means go, yeah, and it's a desert, so it's the Sahara Desert. And you're like, well, no, it's the Sahara. That means desert. So it's things like, yeah.
And the word kangaroo classically is supposed to mean I don't understand what you're saying. What's that? I don't understand what you're saying.
Oh, it's a kangaroo. And didgeridoo means what the fuck are you saying? Oh yeah. Okay. No, so it is interesting. Here we go. This language is likely the tongue of the current. It's magic.
Says
it's magic.
Yeah, gravity is down, so the layer above you, you're looking at the bottom of the layer above you. It doesn't flip or invert gravity.
Yeah, no. So it's not like Bitopia in Planescape, where it's like a mirrored above and below. You're looking at the stalactites. We keep doing this every week. We do this. We can get stalactites and stalagmites. Oh no, stalactites. They have a C in them, so they hold on to the ceiling.
There you go.
And stalagmites have a G in them, so they come up from the ground. Whoever said that in chat last time, you are a fucking genius, and that has changed my life. So the stalagmites that hang from the layer above, people live in them as well. So the gnomes from Glorim have tunneled down and built cities inside these stalactites, and they trade via airship and other magical means with people down on our lawn, the realm. So it's I
have a sort of mental image of like a gnome extreme hang gliding sport.
Yeah. Find the thermal.
Racing downwards. How far can you get, kind of things? If we throw ourselves out,
the problem is you can get very far
stalactite.
quite easily, can't you? Interesting. I think we had talk about hang glider messengers from island to island.
Yes.
At one point, didn't we? Maybe you take a hot air balloon up very high, and it drops the hang gliders off of it, and they can make it to neighbouring islands, or something like that. But yeah, I do see the interaction between the layers as known of, but not common. Not so much that it's like, hey, let's hop on an airship to the stalactites. It's like,
It might be a
the
once in a lifetime pilgrimage.
Well, yeah, or like the
thing.
city of Neckelvang have trade routes with us, but they're only really used for trading a few things, and then they're very secure, and it's not like passenger ships up to the, occasionally as part of adventures and things, people might make their way on, like we did with our Pathfinder game, Tears of the Dreamer. You guys ended up getting on an airship to go up to one of these stalactites. That's where we left it off. I'm trying to think of a sport that the Minotaurs and Gnomes can play together. That's not. Oh yeah, I could think of one, but it's not. We can't talk about that live on air. It's called Blood Bowl. That's what it's called. It's called Throw Teammate.
Changing layer isn't like going to the other side of the world. It's going to another world.
Yeah.
Entirely different ecologies, whole different environment.
It may have that same once in a lifetime. Oh, they're setting voyage for a new world. It may have that kind of thing to it. So there are ways through the world mountain to the other layers. That should be said. Glorim is smaller than Arlorn, so you can go above, around, and over the top. And you can fly up to the stalactites and climb your way up through the rock of that realm onto Glorim. There is also the ocean that is got a surface top and bottom, which sits above this area.
So if you can hold your breath, you can swim up through the ocean.
Absolutely.
Assuming you can fly up to the ocean.
You've got to do that first, and then find a way to, So it's interesting. It kind of was a dwarven planescape mashup. So that was the concept. Anyway, back to our pirate islands. Let's have a look. Pick a linguistic touchstone and give your kingdom or area a name. This language is likely the tongue of the current or historical dominant group in the region. Conventional fantasy names tend to be random, nonsense syllables, blah, 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 blah. Even if the words they use from it have no relation. Their naming, the consistent set of sounds and syllable patterns will help give a coherent feel to the work. I love the way he calls it the work.
The great work.
We are taking upon us a great work.
So one of the things I like to use for naming conventions and stuff is the Behind the Name website, which has got a name randomizer. Now, this is for proper nouns. It's people names for the most part.
People, yes.
But it gives you a really useful...
Occasionally it sneaks out one.
Well, no, it gives you a really useful feel for phonemes and the ways in which linguistics work. And they've actually got a fantasy section. So there are 6 different fantasy style languages, none of which are pre-existing ones.
Okay.
You can kind of see what they're based on. So you've got Glutak, which is your sort of goblinoid-ish sounding language. Yep. Monstral, Romanto, Semitic, Tsang, and Jalaxai.
Yeah.
Which has got loads of X's in it. So you've got all these sort of specific feels. So, for instance, if we were to say that the Pirate Islands were going Romanto, and I tell it to generate me a random name, it's Elian Ann, which is a bit rubbish, but I can refresh that and get Egon Acreus. So it kind of pulls out word sounds and a couple of taps on the old refresh button and you can start getting some really good ideas. Ipia, that's quite a good one. You don't want Fampi Nifo.
I'm trying to think where these pirates come from as well while we're doing this, to think of the flavor, and I don't know whether they're part of my brain had been thinking before that they were like Erebag knockoffs, discarded folk, or those who got fed up with the new new realm there, and in the World Mountain setting, the orcs are quite a well skilled seafaring culture. That's one of the things that they've had to do, coming up from Udril out into this world, trying to make peaceable links with other people. The only way they've been able to do it is to get across the sea. So part of their history has been learning to sail, and
Well,
Gozar,
how
who's
about
one of
you kind of bring that into the sort of player realm a little bit and make them
Okay.
sort of almost like true breeding half-orc population. So they're humans, they're
Can we
orcs.
breed between? Can we breed between species?
Well, half-orc is an available player character race in many things, isn't it?
It is. It is. You're absolutely right,
So
Ben.
in-
We should think. I'm trying to think. You're right, because one of the points of the world map was trying to be very inclusive of all the possible options
Yeah.
in many different worlds. So, I mean, Erebag will be like goblins, orcs, humans, dwarves. There'll be all kinds of races there, but the goblinoids will be quite populous there.
So if you go for making the pirate islands like a half-orc population, but not like my mum's one, my dad's the other, but kind of over the generations, the populations have intermingled so much that you've got
it's like
a
half orcs and half orcs.
half-orc, half-orc.
Having half orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Orcish.
you then do away with the everyone is thuggish bio-essentialist.
Yeah, I don't want it also
side of
just to be
things.
one species of people.
Yeah.
So there will be, the pirates I see as being quite a diverse group. The cast-offs of all cultures can come, as long as you don't mind paying homage to the pirate king, who we're going to have to name at some point later on, or queen. Sorry, we can do either, can't we? Or anything in between.
Well, I think we worked out last week that there was a pirate king, but there was also
yes.
a pirate princess who was
Princess the niece or something, or who's off with the. Oh, I've got what am I going on about? I've got it on my screen here.
You're the one that's got the notes. Yeah.
I've got the information. Here we go. Daughter of the pirate king's oldest rival is being sheltered by the tunnelers. There you go. So that's interesting. I like Acraeus. That was quite cool. I like that one. Ippia's quite cool. I think what we should do is we should grab a few of these words from your generator, whack them in my page, and then we go through and we do a bit of the history and a bit of the flavor, and then one of the words might kind of, speak to us. But it sounds like lots of vowels.
And that's just one particular language. If you want a less vowely one.
Well, no. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to think of. No, I think that's not a problem.
Yes, it's Semitic gives you very sort of Middle Eastern sounding words, but that aren't Middle Eastern names.
Okay. Let's have a look what's going on in chat. Karga and Demon Claw says pirates could be escaped prisoners and slaves. Yep, that's cool. That's absolutely possible. Bubble Red says, I guess for pirates they could be a mix of outlaws on the run from their own lands. Yep. Or they're a nation that was self-sustaining, but then something happened, so they had to resort. Well, some of that will come out when we start to do history, because we're going to roll some stuff to get some random history and a few bits of geography, some ruins in the area, and like anything to do with kind of gods and stuff. So we'll come up with some of that stuff. I want to go through some of the tables on this one, and we can flesh it.
Yeah, I think I may have missed what I was going for. I've accidentally clicked on the wrestler name generator.
Oh, okay. What's the wrestler name you generated?
You don't want an island called Lard Crippler.
Lard Crippler.
Lard Crippler.
I'm going to write it down, though, because that name... No, hang on. Do you know what is written just above the Pirate Island section? Big ass Cyclops on Island 3.
Lard Crippler. I suppose that's not an unreasonable thing for the Pirate Islanders to call him.
He's
Look
a
out,
big
it's
fat
the Lardy
Cyclops.
Crippler.
yeah, that's brilliant. Excellent. These wonderful things that happen when we have these live streams. Oh God. Here we go. John Maxuta, Pirates and Privateers. Oh God. Okay. I gotta say that live on air, but it's, you guys can all read that. Freelancing, raiding, and letters. Okay, right. So then it says, so it sounds like we're going for a bit of a vowely romantic style language This is from their smooth movements, their frequent use of alcohol. It's not guttural. Everything's been rounded off. And everything's become sort of a more flowing language as they've become a bit more of a
Spanish,
free society.
Portuguese, North African in some aspects, kind of.
Yeah. That I don't want it to be like Tortuga.
No,
exactly.
No, exactly.
But I think if they're living that kind of free life, then like the harsh language of the goblinoids of Erebag would probably have all been rounded off.
Yeah.
They'd be a bit more relaxed. So, like casual orcish, whatever that might be. Okay, flesh out its history. You already have an event or two related to it that you generated at the regional level. Now take those same tables and add 3 or 4 more events. These historical circumstances might have been localized to specific areas of the kingdom, or they might have been nationwide happenings. Not the happening, please, not the happening. The plants are killing us. It's the wind. It's not necessary to have a year-by-year timeline of the past, but a half dozen solid events can help inform the kingdom's current state. Okay, so let's go back to the history. The history. We had... Copy this down here. So what we had was the pirates. We had a diplomatic coup, which was the affiliation with the
Tritons. One pirate, the pirate king. So this is quite a recent history, isn't it? We've got this group of pirates, maybe on all the separate islands, being unified under one pirate king.
Because he did a deal with the Tritons.
Because he did a deal with the Tritons. So that's within the last
The real
generation.
sea chicken, yes, we are doing campaign building, world building using Worlds Without Number. The recent publication from Sine Nomine. Got it right that time, didn't I, Ben? From Kevin Crawford, the role-playing game, which is, I think, primarily been anticipated for the world building and faction turn stuff. So we're having a lot of fun with it. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you there, Ben. We had a little...
No, it's all right.
So yeah, we had a diplomatic coup, and then after that, we've had urbanization.
Yes, because he's then had the cash and the wherewithal to unite warring factions.
And he's getting fat and he's looking a bit like Lard Crippler these days. And he's settling down and getting a bit complacent, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? We'll come to that in a minute. But should we zip
Sine
to the...
Nomine means without a name.
Oh, but it has one. That's a double brain burst. Right. Okay, let's roll down to history. Was there anything... Hang on, I'm just going to check when it's in the kingdom section. Yeah, no, that's cool. History. So if you're following along at home with your own PDF or book, it's page 136.
Is that 136
and in the PDF, that's book 136 or page 140 in total, because obviously the contents of things.
Boom, there we go.
Counted in that. Cool. Okay. So I think it would be good. So it said another 3 or 4. So you want to have 5 or 6 events. I think it would be good to have a few before the diplomatic coup, and then one in between the coup and the urbanization.
Yeah.
How's that sound? Because that kind of, to me, sort of feels like they were the big things that the rest of the nations care about. Oh shit, they all got unified, and oh, now maybe they're slacking off a bit. So if people in chat want to help us out with roles, then feel free to do so. Otherwise, we have some dice, and we may roll some stuff. So history construction. So what's cool about this is it gives you little deep dives into geography, your nation, the society, your history, various factors, and we're going to go through a bunch of them tonight. So you'll be able to see some of them, which is cool. And it gives you various tables. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative, some of them are for now, some of them are thought-provoking, some of them just tags that you can use, some of them are sentences that describe something. So there's a lot of tools to use. Not every group will need every stage fleshed out, and not every element needs to be detailed in exhaustive fashion. So part of Kevin Crawford's ethos is to only prepare what you need, really. Although Ben and I are of completely the opposite kind of ethos, where we're like, I just like to sit
to tell you exactly what year the sewers were built in this city. Are we going in the sewers? No, you can't fit a person down there.
But you happen to notice a small sign that says Est 1072 PF. What does PF mean? We don't care. All right, carry on. Damn, I had a whole timeline created with the pro-functor timeline. Anyway, right, cool. So what we shall do is, I think we should work backwards from the diplomatic coup first, because I've seen this table called historical crises.
Yeah.
And I think it would be cool if there was a crisis just before the diplomatic coup that kind of said why.
Because we don't need to worry about the originate or the original inhabitants unless we want to know about the original inhabitants.
Well, the first history point could be where do they originate from?
Yeah.
And then that might inform the linguistic touchstone.
Well, I think they migrated here for profit and plunder, didn't they?
Let's have a look. Aboriginal peoples rated here for profit or plunder.
Mind you,
possibly they were refugees from a fallen land. They were exiles
2, 3,
or
7,
losers.
And 8 are all good, aren't they?
2, 3, 7, 8. Yeah. So I think what we should do is see if anybody in chat wants to roll an 8-sided die and tell us their result. I know there's a bit of a delay on this. So I'll drink some wine while I wait. No. Oh, I've been so looking forward to this today. It's been one of those days. It's nice to just do something that's a bit unpredictable and enjoyable. It's great.
It's the curse of the forever GM, isn't it? You already know what's coming and what's going to happen. So for suddenly having to roll on random tables, you're like, oh, am I going to have to build religious extremists? Or noble freedom
I hope
fighters?
so. I'm really in the mood for religious extremists tonight.
That's 65 to 68 on historical crises then.
Oh, you rolled that. Oh no, sorry. Religious, right. Okay. So if anyone in chat, oh, here we go. Bubble Ridge 3. They were exiles or losers of some civil strife. Okay, there we go. Exiles. I'll say exiles. Losers is a bit of a crap word. Hang on.
Real sea chicken. But 3 and 7 can go together, because if they were exiles or losers, they were the sort of
they moved in
and from Erebag and they got booted out.
Yeah, so a little bit of history for everyone, for the wider world. There's a nation called Bractagar, which came out up through Udril, came out of the World Mountain,
yes.
Bad guys. Came out of the World Mountain and conquered Gomar, Zemrion, a couple of other ones, and then started to launch attacks on the mainland. A load of people fled and set up Erebag. In response to this, they didn't want to be under the boot heel of the hobgoblin overlord, whose name was Bractagar. He named the nation after himself.
Fascist.
And eventually that all fell apart. And they have retreated to the Red Citadel in the World Mountain to hide away and prepare their next big assault. And the nations of Gomar and all these others overthrew these tyrants and are all now free, trying to figure out what's going on, which is why this area is now being explored, because everyone's trying to figure out, is there land? Can we do stuff? And the Erebag people are like, let's go back out and see what's going on and investigate. So there's a big bad nation called Bractagar.
How long ago was Bractagar?
I think it was probably within a generation, so like 15, 20 years ago. So the nations are still picking themselves up because it takes a while.
Because that's not an origination, is it? That's more of a historical crisis.
No. That yeah. But yeah, exiles from. Well, we don't know how long is the Pirate Nation would have been there for a while, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean,
but has it been
a
like
couple of 100 years? If they're...
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay, exiles. So then they will have recent additions from Erebag, but they will go back further than that. Cool. Okay, exiles of civil. Okay.
Exiles and losers who formed a conquering army that went native. Or we take Sea Chicken 7 and stick it into what became of the original inhabitants. They were partially assimilated.
Oh, okay.
So whoever was already living on the island, like simple pastoral farming folk.
Sorry, Cargo and Demon Claws, but so all the freed nations are now suffering through participating democracy. Lesser tyranny, I think it is. Distance is futile. Yes, it is. The weak will perish. Sorry, where were we? Exiles of some civil strife. They conquered and assimilated gnomes.
Yeah, they turn up
so
on this nice little
gnomes.
island. They're going to be gnomes, aren't they? Nice little island with some pastoral gnomes raising their sheep, practically
their
hobbity.
little hats and fishing rods.
Yeah, and in come these cast-off, second-rate orcs, goblins, humans that weren't good enough to fight in the armies back on the mainland, and they move in and they're like, actually, this is quite nice. We could live here.
I think we've got orcs, gobbos, a few hobgobbos, although they do like to, wear the uniform. Humans, and therefore gnomes. How do we feel about that? Does that feel? It was a nomadice before. I like that. Okay, cool. That's
until it was
the
a
origin.
nomicide.
Yeah, it was a nomicide, partial. So we know now that there was once a peaceful gnomish land here, and these people arrived as exiles,
all rolling hills
over.
and panpipes.
Absolutely, alpine horns and things, and herds of sheep and stuff. Lovely.
Fine line of cheeses.
Yes, and now the gnomes are part of the society, although probably still seen as like a lower rung on the ladder. Which is probably another reason why the other gnome natives don't like them. But I think it's been so long that it's probably all kind of absorbed and mingled, rather than like, because pirates are eventually they'll be like, hey, who cares?
I think the gnomes and the goblins would have interbred a little bit as well, potentially.
Absolutely.
So you've got big half orcs, little half orcs.
Cardboard box. That's for you, Sophinio, when you watch it back later. Cool. Okay. Oh dear, what are we doing? Right, so then should we do the crises, the historical crises?
Yes.
Let's see if...
Does anybody want to roll a D100?
D100.
And ideally get 65 to 68.
Someone's just going to type 66 or 67 in the chat now, aren't they? Which is fine. There's some interesting things on here, though, like ideological divide. You can have good old
governance.
You can have good old-fashioned natural disasters. 50. There we go.
Malevolent religion.
Oh yes.
Oh, a cult to a sea god arises.
Yeah. And then the affiliation with the Tritons is to like dispel this. Google Dice doesn't have a D100. Roll 2D10 separately. Oh, hello.
That was me.
Ben's getting all fancy producer like, sharing links and everything, and look at him all techie now.
As a mod. Muhahaha.
Yes. Right, malevolent religion. Excellent. We get to make a cult. Make a cult.
Now, I watched Moana at the weekend, so some kind of giant crab deity.
Ah, that's awesome.
We need a giant
Maybe
crab deity.
the crab deity, and the Tritons don't like the giant crab deity. Tamatoa. Yeah. I love that song. That's like one of my favorite songs in Disney. It's so good.
You'd have to be crazy to think a demigod could beat a
Cthulhu.
decagod.
Yeah. Look it up. I like that. Crab Thulu. Okay, crab deity. Right, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm getting too excited about the giant crab. No, hang on. Okay, so between exile and giant crab, I am imagining some sort of kaiju moment, almost kicking off. You know, like they're summoning this great. Have you guys ever listened to Mighty Boosh, the radio show? And it has a weird, like they're watching this TV show called Calibos the Crab, and he's like, anyway, Kanika, the crab deity. I'm going to write the name down as a possibility.
Yep.
If that has connotations elsewhere or is pinched from another IP, tell me now so I don't use it. Right. So
Also,
between...
Can you answer the question, is it all shiny?
Right. Okay. Fail at the final crisis. What was great about its peak? Okay, with the group at its historical peak, what particular marvels? I will do that between the coup and the urbanization. I think we need a... do we have a how? No, that's overcome the crisis.
Yeah, we do need to overcome the crisis first, don't we?
Well,
so that's a D10.
Oh, so diplomatic coup then becomes... But isn't that what overcome the crisis? They form this affiliation.
Oh, no, I thought the affiliation was for personal gain. This predates that. This is back when the islands are all scattered, little independent pirate crews going off and doing their own thing.
It's like a malevolent religion that grew up, and there we need to overcome it. So we need someone in chat to roll a D10, or type a number between 1 and 10, but preferably roll something randomly and actually put the thing in. I've just seen what number 10 is. So, and what the great thing about this is I haven't read every table. I've looked at a lot of this, but there's nice stuff that like pops up to surprise you. Oh, there we go. This is a nice thing. Faith strengthened them against the woe. Faith in the crab?
Too nice. Much too nice. That's like...
Sorry, non-anomaly.
They hold hands and killed the monster with love. Sorry, non-anomaly. Much too nice.
Yeah, maybe they all did. They joined hands around the island.
These are ruthless pirates that have not yet unified.
Oh yeah, sorry. Ah. Maybe the gnomes within their society.
Oh.
They overcame the crab deity and then gained equal footing in the society.
That works. With
and
their
they did it through their faith. Nomageddon.
Fish deity.
Boom. And it wasn't peaceful, it was explosive.
Yeah.
But remember, the gnomes have the dream realm slippage, don't they?
Yeah, so they summoned a giant dream shark.
Maybe
to fight the giant crab. Oh.
Yeah, one of the Leviathan's friends came down from the sky ocean and tore the crab a new one. Okay. Faith of gnome gnome survivors overcame the crab. Cool. Showed it a shiny green thing and then threw it into a big hole.
And that's why the pirate crews think you have to have a lucky gnome on your ship.
Lucky gnome. I mean, that does put them in a weird position once again. Like a model gnome. Do you mean like literally like a garden gnome statue? or like an actual gnome?
I meant like an actual gnome.
Okay, cool.
And then if
but if you
anything
can't
bad
afford,
happens,
if you can't afford a gnome, then buy a little,
if anything bad
plaster
happens, the first thing they do is throw the gnome overboard. Because he's
Gnome
the repository
overboard.
of their luck.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if their
So
luck
it's bad.
is bad,
So get rid of him.
he's soaked up the bad luck. Cob him in the ocean.
Okay. I'm going to make a note slightly lower down. Gnome, good luck. Gnome on board ship for luck. Question mark.
Plus,
Faith
I
of
can now
gnome
imagine
survivors
Jim
overcame the
playing
crowd.
a pirate character and wanting to rub all
Oh,
the gnomes
don't
on
say
the
such
head
things.
for luck.
Well, hopefully, Aldoon will play a gnome.
I don't think he
Well, we'll
will
see.
now.
No, probably not. Call down Leviathan sub god. So it's water, yeah.
A sea saint.
To fight it. Sea saint. Cool. Okay. I think that's actually quite cool.
Yeah.
I like the idea of this kind of moment, like
A giant eel.
gnomes going, and like going, the thing you've been telling us not to do for the last 50 years, our little religion that we've got. These bad guys, we're taking them down. Let's go. Nomageddon.
And they summon this giant eel from the ocean above to fight the crab.
I'm tempted to do the old giant tentacle came down and scooped it up.
Yeah.
Or it could be, I like the idea of a shark though. In chat, what dreamlike spirit sea creature destroyed this crab deity? Was it the Leviathan itself, which is vast and incomprehensible, Cthulhu-like in its nature and size, but not its intent?
I could quite feasibly just reach down and scoop it up into the ocean above, like you're coming home, sunshine.
Yeah. Oh, I dropped one. Maybe the malevolent cult, just to expand on it slightly, found something from the in the ruins or whatever. It's a hint from an old something Zon-like from above. I don't know.
Bloody
Corruption
Zon.
of a crab thing. Bloody Zon.
Coming over here, corrupting our crabs.
Let's have a look. Yeah. So people are saying the Leviathan. Yeah, it's like a giant. The Leviathan is like it's not really just an octopus. It's like a huge, weird, incomprehensible. If you look at it, your brain will explode. Kind of creature in the
like the Kraken
dream
from
ocean.
Aquaman.
Trying
That
to
big
remember
kaiju crab octopus hybrid.
Oh,
thing.
yeah, something a bit like that. Yeah, something a bit like that. But its magic comes from dreams, and it gives people dreams. Okay, cool. Right, we need one more moment in history. Now, we've got exiled, civil strife took over the gnomes. Currently, I've got a gap. Then I've got malevolent religion. Then I've got gnome survivor faith. Then I've got diplomatic coup, and then urbanization. Do we want that last one to be back that early, or do we want it between diplomatic coup and urbanization?
Yeah, I think we need one between diplomatic coup and urbanization.
Sure.
Because that way, the burgeoning new pirate king has to make his point. So it's something they do overcome, and the pirate king cements his power through it. But it also means that his story is in the past. So the story of the Pirate King becomes, it's a story, it's a legend, it's in the past. He's fallen now. He's fat old geezer that's a lot like Lardy Crumbler.
So we've got diplomatic coup affiliation with the Tritons. Then we're going to have an event, and then we're going to have urbanization going on.
Yeah.
So this event, which of these tables do we think we're going to roll on? Do we want? What about what was great about its peak? Like he solidified the pirates, Then he did something cool, and now he's getting fat and tired.
Yeah. Yeah, what was great about its peak kind of works. That's a D12 in chat then, please.
Yeah. Anyone wants to roll a D12?
Otherwise, Pete will do it because he loves him a D12.
And I've got like a bunch of them sitting right here. A nice blue one.
And no, you can't just use the garblag emoji. That's cheating.
I rolled a 1. But non-anomaly rolled a 10. Numerous legendary heroes arose. That's number 10. That's interesting.
Oh,
number 1 is
legendary
a terrible...
captains.
Oh, that sounds cool, actually.
And their names, the pirate captains, so they're legendary heroes for the pirates. Other people might consider them to be horrible
complete
outlaws.
assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you get to name a couple of awesome pirates. And you can have,
let's
like,
have some pirate name suggestions in chat. Come
flags
on.
and stuff like that. Have you got a flag?
You have a flag.
But
Well,
like
that's the
the
flag
classic
of-
pirates, it wasn't just the skull and crossbones. That was only one flag.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of the pirate captains had their own specific flag so that ships knew exactly who was attacking them and what their chances of survival were.
Yeah.
Not good.
Generally. So we're going to go with numerous legendary heroes, in parentheses, for the pirates. Arose. Gar. Gotta write Gar in there. And if anyone wants to suggest a name for a legendary pirate, then feel free to put it in there. Perhaps one of them was his rival,
Yes.
whose daughter, Garland. Is that the name of the that's
could
the
be
name of the
daughter.
country? No, that's the name of the country.
Oh,
Garland.
And we will name this land Garland.
Yeah.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Okay, cool. I like that. I like that idea. All these legendary pirates suddenly start rising up. They get really good crews. They're going out doing all this stuff, and he starts to sit back and enjoy his retirement.
Yeah, so
Basically.
he's got a posse of legendary captains that go out and do all
Doing
the
his
work.
shit. It
They
turns
get-
out one of them's actually undercutting him, like sowing a seed.
They
So he has
get
him.
the fame and the fortune. He gets a cut of everything they make.
Yep. The tithe. You've got to pay the tithe.
Yeah, and one of them's like, well, why are we
Absolutely.
paying the tithe to this fat bloke?
Arcana, the
That's
terrible.
Arcane, yeah.
Arcane, the terrible. Cool. Hit us up with pirate names, and we'll lift them out and put them in a document, and we'll see how they roll off the tongue. Okay, cool. So we've done some history. So we now have they were exiles of civil strife, landed on this island, took over from the gnomes, who were kind of lovely farming folk and fishing. Then a malevolent religion rose up, maybe in response to their overthrow of the gnomes. The gnomes were keeping the peace spiritually, maybe. Crab deity Kanika, maybe. Khan, I think. Kani is the Japanese word for crab. Okay. Then the faith of the gnomes overcame the crab. They got incorporated back into the society on a level playing field, and then maybe the upshot of all this was that the Tritons were pissed off and kind of came over and were like, "What's going on? You guys over there causing trouble." They said, "No, we just dealt with that big problem, and we're raiding all these other people. So we're doing you a favor. Let's have an accord." And that brought everyone together. And then because there was a time of stability, heroes rose up, pirate heroes, going out, wonderful raids and plunder and swinging from ropes and rigging and all that kind of stuff. And then the pirate king started to get a bit fat and lazy and wanted to enjoy his gold.
Because claiming 10% cut off of every ship that goes out and makes a fortune.
Yeah, and
He
there you
doesn't
go.
need to work for a living.
Absolutely. So there we go. We've got history of the pirate nation. That's cool. I really like that. That's cool. Right, excuse me. What might be quite good there is just to take a short human admin break.
Yes, indeed.
Could do with that. Sitting in this wonderful shed of mine. And
what's the temperature like in the shed at the minute? Aromac the emotional.
8.
I mean, is it clement? Is it comfortable?
It's okay. It's okay. I've just put my heater on because it's
okay.
starting to cool down a little bit. And I'm just turning that heater on.
I quite like the idea of Aromac the emotional, actually, because I kind of see him as a barbarian.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's like, well, why should we be scared of Aromac the emotional? And then he comes on your ship and gets emotional and starts breaking things.
Emotional in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pox Harvey, pirate extraordinaire.
Pirate extraordinaire sounds like a Simon self-descriptor.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's brilliant. Okay, right. So what we're going to do is we'll take a 5-minute break. Then we'll come back and we'll carry on. Hello and welcome to part 2 of episode 3 of World Building using worlds without number. Sorry, I've had a bit of wine. Okay, so before the break, we were looking into the pirate islands and we're getting down to the kingdom level where we were fleshing out the pirates' history. And now we're going to carry that on, hopefully finish the pirate islands tonight. And I mean, Ben and I will just go on for a while.
Yeah, we're still on pirate islands then, so I don't need to change the map.
No, not yet.
Because it just occurred to me that I didn't change the map in our little break.
No, you're all good. You're all good. So we've got our history lined up. I won't go through it again. We went through that before the break.
But we have got a question about, do the pirates still need people to work on their farms? Do they raid other islands for workers? Or do they have a standard of living, the envy of the islands, and other people try to sneak in? I think outside of the port cities, the islands are still pretty pastoral and things just get on.
Yeah.
Maybe a pirate turns up once or twice a year and takes some of your stuff, but they don't need to because they're taking it off of other ships. So
or there's like
standard of living is probably quite good.
It's like a tithe or a tax, you know.
But I would imagine that their standard of living for the pirates is quite good. So people want to get in to be a pirate. So they never have a shortage of people wanting to sign on to their pirate navy. And as a result, they've got a steady stream of cannon fodder that they can throw at other ships with their cargoes. They're not just going to be robbing jewellery ships. They're going to be robbing food ships. And some of the crews, you know, that you'll have the less glamorous crews.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Dave, who robs the potato ship. He's not going to be
Spuddy Dave.
Spuddy Dave. Why do they call you that? Oh, it's robbed from potato ships.
Oh, I hate that fucking name. Cool. He's got a potato on his flag. a
2 bones and a potato.
yeah. Or it might be a knife and fork. You can't quite tell. Okay, cool.
Who's that? That's Jangar, the goat grabber. Oh, what does he specialise in? He sails up to islands and he grabs goats.
Okay. So you guys are literal. Okay, so we're going through the kingdom. So Ben, if you want to roll back to book 119 on the overlay, so everyone can see the pages we're working on. yeah, not an anomaly. The next bastard, what call me Spuddy, is going in the drink. Spuddy Dave's going to turn up in the show. I'm writing it down. Spuddy Dave. There we go.
Oh, we've got some more over in Discord. We've got Brian the Bastard and Machete Jim.
Machete Jim. I like it.
I just got this horrible mashup of Jim and Mexican actor who was in Machete.
Leathery guy.
Yes.
What's his name? God. No, I can look it up. Here we go.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah, very quickly.
Good job, non-anomaly. Good job.
That's the one.
But like
in so many films.
Jim with Danny Trejo's tattoos.
Oh God. That would be a sight to see. That would be fantastic. I can't wait. So Jim, Dean and Ben so far in the Worlds Without Number, trying to coerce a few. I think some of the cast don't know what Worlds Without Number is or what it's about. Basically, it's a simplified version of D&D. I'm massively generalizing there, but yeah, it's OSR, so it's okay. Cool. So let's move on. So we've fleshed out the history. Next, decide how it is ruled and identify the ruler.
That was easy.
The zone, yeah.
We've kind of done that, haven't we? We've got the pirate captain with
Pirate
his
King.
Pirate King with his legendary.
Maybe it's
pirates.
all of his crew that like had their own ships.
I think his crew stay on the island with him, and they're like pirate police.
Oh
they're
yeah, maybe yeah.
They've also gotten a bit old
and bodyguards. You know, like his old mate who hangs around in his Pirate King courtroom, and he's like the guy at the side who's the old enforcer.
Up onto the shore, fixed it in place, and grown it up into a building.
I really like that idea. Boat dragged up.
Oh, crikey!
Onto the island.
Twitch just exploded.
Hello, we're back. Sorry for the slight hiccup there. We had a bit of a technical challenge. I think there was a collapse from a dream realm above Ben's house, and it temporarily destroyed the connection. It's a stream, Jim, but not as we know it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, where were we?
No special effects. You can have my cupboard door, my audio foam, and all the basics.
This is a world building session. This isn't a fancy, actual play stream with Millie the GM involved.
I see. Like me to the most professional of the garblags, why don't you?
Hey, my computer can't even handle running a stream, so I can't. I'm not.
Pirates on the starboard bow. Here we go. We're in trouble.
Absolutely. Okay, so we were deciding on the ruler, how it is ruled, and identify the ruler. So there's a king. So there's a monarchy, but is this an actual monarchy where now is family line?
No, I think it's whoever's tough enough to take it when he dies.
So it's like a meritocracy.
More of a, what's the word? Bullyocracy.
Yeah, I meant like
a militocracy.
The merit that they're putting at the top is strength of arms.
Yeah. I think whichever captain can pull enough of the other captains over to their side gets to be the next pirate king.
Yeah.
Which is why the pirate rival. Princess Garland still has a chance.
Garland. Bullytocracy isn't a word. Strength or cunning? The Cerulean king. Now, Nidzeka, whack it in the world building channel. Or loyalty, or strength or cunning. Keck. Okay.
No.
Okay, cool. That's how it's run. That can be explored a bit more in the game. Let's have a look. The zone might be a patchwork of city-states or a single unified monarchy, but now's the time to decide those details. One thing I was thinking was, these islands, see, I've numbered them. I was zoomed in again, so I've numbered them even further. I was thinking it might be interesting to think about where the capital city is, and then where, like, a couple of smaller, because if it's a pirate nation, we're going to have the big pirate king and his big boat on his big city, but then there's going to be a few areas where, like, some of his generals or captains will be governing, and looking after smaller groups to send out raiding parties.
I think
and
Island 4
keeping an eye
makes
on the
sense to be the main island, and you've got two big bays there, both of which suggest that there's some mileage there for a capital. So either the bay that the number 4 is actually sat in, or the one just below it. Both look like...
I was thinking the one below, because of the two little islands, but also because going out of there you can go east easily to the tunnelers, and you can go southeast to Gomar.
It's a good point.
Settlers.
Also, if you go for the bay at the bottom of Island 4, you could put a big fort on top of that little island that's really difficult to get to.
Yeah.
And then you stick one of your loyalists in there, and if anybody starts causing trouble for you, you can magic cannon their ship to pieces.
Okay, so we've got Island 4. Oh, we're skipping slightly ahead to make a rough map of the area. I love the way every level he says, make a rough map. Like, top part of 3 is most centered. All of number 2 is the capital. Yeah, I'm just trying to think about where they're raiding. Yeah. Because they're mostly going... I mean, they are raiding a bit to the west, and they're blocking Erebag. But they are going into the area.
Yeah, so you could stick a fort on 2 by all means.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There will be. I think there will be a little fort on 2, something on 3. 1, they're probably not so worried about.
1 is the ship fort. That's where you get sent if you're a rubbish pirate and they don't like you. It's like, oh, we're sending you on an important mission. Sit in this fort, don't do anything.
Yeah. So 4 is the capital in Southern Bay.
Yeah, that big bay is really good because it looks like you've got enough of a shallow, potentially even a reef out there to sort of quell the high waves a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're not dealing with real-world geography, but some of the issues are going to be the same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, if there's a reef, then it will have an effect on the waves. You know, there's not just magic in everything. It would kind of get a bit crazy. So 1 is a crap fort, farming.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 is a good fort, strong captain.
Yeah, so 1 and 2, most of the islands along there are going to be sort of your goat farms, and 3 as well, really. You've got loads of goat farms. Maybe they produce decent wine as well.
Goat wine?
Not goat wine, no. Bad pig. No cookie.
I think maybe on Island 3 they produce good wine.
Yeah.
Because slightly more clustered, you might get sort of a more even distribution of rain across the island. And that way you'd have a better environment for like vines and...
You're going to get more sunlight there as well. Because as the sun pops out from behind the mountain, it's going to hit Island 3 first.
Yeah,
and then it's going to be staying with Island 3 all the way round. For the whole of the morning.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So we've got 1 crap fort, farming goats. 2 good fort, strong captain, goats. 3 wine. A fair population then, because there's and maybe 2 small.
I think 3 is going to be where they've got 3 and 4 are going to be where you've got the majority of the gnome population.
Yeah.
1 and 2 are going to be tiny little villages.
So each hex is 6 miles.
Yeah, that's still fair.
Yeah.
Island 1 is Scotland.
No, just giving you the sense of the scale on the hexes.
Yeah.
So there are some big trees on there. Okay, let's have a look. 3 fair population gnomes. Yeah, so maybe there's loads of gnomes on 3, and obviously 4 is the biggest island. So there's going to be lots of every type. Lots of all people.
The other bay on 4 could be a shipyard.
Yeah.
So you've got a shipyard there, and you've got forests on the island.
That'll be there'll be a fairly decent sized town there. It's not the capital, but East Bay.
But it's also going to be a place of power because whoever's building the ships is going to have a fairly
maybe that's the rival. The previous, Okay.
Yeah, because if he's trained his daughter as a shipwright, she's going to have a better ship than them.
Yeah. It's just cool. I love all this world building. It's great. It's nice to do it with somebody else as well. So you get that, because you get thoughts coming in that
You're
you wouldn't
making me think
necessarily
of Floki, the boat builder.
Floki's great. Okay, cool. Identify the enemies of the rulers. Maybe they're a usurper who seeks to claim the throne. Maybe they're a sullen band of rebel peasants. Or maybe they're a slowly advancing army of hell. Subtle. Somebody wants to depose or destroy the rulers of the region, even if they're so subtle. This conflict they create is eminently useful for the GM. I think the crab people want to bring it back.
Yeah.
Crab worshippers.
They were too soon last time. They didn't let him get to full strength.
Are they crab worshippers or are they crab flavored worshippers?
I think he's kind of a dream demon crab, and they didn't manage to manifest him fully last time.
Yeah. It wasn't
so they're like a
formed.
little secret murder cult, and they're sacrificing people to their crab deity. But because it's such a chaotic bunch of islands, you can get away with the occasional murder.
Yeah, bit of and animal mutilation, that goes on. The gnomes, they're weird people.
Yeah, blame the gnomes.
We've got the rival, who's just going to be called the rival right now.
I like Alabaster for the rival. That was one of the names that someone suggested. Not with the first name, just a single name. Alabaster, the ship builder. And maybe once he and the Pirate King were mates.
Again. I think he was his first mate.
Yeah. And he built ships for him, and
poetic.
They went together. But then the Pirate King got lazy and greedy.
Exactly.
And Alabaster started supporting younger, more up-and-coming, forward-thinking crews. So the Pirate King and his
daughter
had him done.
So if we remember, we were talking earlier on about the history elements and relationships that we'd rolled last session, and we had that the daughter of Pirate King's oldest rival is sheltered by the tunnelers. So he's sent her off to be protected, to say, look, take all we know and all we have, all of our ship knowledge, go off over there, hide away, because I'm going to try and overthrow him. And if you're here, then that's like a
then
risk.
He's not got that he can use against me.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Let's have a look in some of the nation construction. I think we'll roll through some of these in a bit, just to see if there's anything. Religion. We need to do something about that crab. Maybe we could roll something for the current crab worshippers as to what they're about and what they're trying to do. They season themselves with Old Bay seasoning. Spice seasoning. Okay.
that might be an American joke that we don't get. I've not heard of Old Bay seasoning, but then equally I don't eat crab.
No.
Very popular on the Isle of Wight. Lots of crab eating going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
It's got a big deal. They catch it fresh, but
right,
not my jam. Or my crab.
Let's roll it on. Okay. Kingdom. Choose one or more problems or goals it's facing. It may be that something is not working right in the region and its inhabitants are being forced to deal with it or suffer the consequences. These problems might be... Well, I think we've kind of... there's like a growing usurper issue. We've got Erebag sending more ships. We've got just the wider contact, like trying to keep pirating everyone so that they don't get a foothold. Keep the other nations at bay. Is there anything else we want to? Tables on page 135 can help. Here we go, page 135. One role government details. While the prior tables give you a basic framework for a government, it can be useful to add a few more details for spice and easier plot hook creation. Tables on this page can be used to quickly generate a few peripheral facts and situations to help flavor a GM's plans. Right, not that one. What problems do their ministers have? Someone in chat, please roll me a 1d8. Strength of the government. How stable is the government? Officials recently causing problems. Okay, someone else roll me a 1d12. Recent government event. That's for the 1d8, I'm guessing. 6. Oh, 6, 7. Can Alabaster's daughter ally with the Crab Thulu cult? Maybe she has some special shipbuilding knowledge and the pirates can't make such good ships. Interesting. Right, we've got 2 rolls of 7. What problems do their ministers have? They usurp power from the ruler.
Tacitly usurping power from the ruler. So
yeah.
the pirate king is getting old. He's getting
being
lazy.
Slowly picked apart by
the crews and the forts and all of that stuff. They're gradually siphoning off power from him. So he's sat on his throne with a great big jeweled cup in his hand, throwing back wine from the islands like it's going out of fashion, and people are letting him and going,
"This goat wine is fantastic."
Don't worry, Your Highness. We've dealt with the raids.
Oh, excellent. More goat wine. Okay, cool. I like that. So the crews and forts are slowly siphoning off power from the pirate king. And maybe even his rival is seeing it, not so much that he has to oppose the pirate king for any main reason, but that the faction is falling apart.
But the rival's dead, isn't he?
I don't think we've clearly stated that.
I thought in the history that the pirate king had defeated him.
No, it just says that that wasn't even a historic event. That was a relationship.
Okay.
So in the historic event, we have the diplomatic coup affiliation with the Tritons that united everyone.
Well, let's
put
legendary
Alabaster heroes
on Island 1 then. He's been sent away from court for causing
so
trouble.
Cold there, he's gone pale. That's why they call him Alabaster.
Because he's been telling the truth.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So he's not so much a rival as he's actually trying to help his old friend. But everyone else is edging him out. And he
won't hear it. So now he's like, right, I'm going to have to fucking take over. Because there's no other way to do it. These pirates are still just pirates. So I'm going to take over.
And I think our pirate princess should be called Gypsum.
Okay.
We've got an 11 for a recent governmental event. A heavy tax was levied to deal with an issue.
Oh, I thought that was a D12 roll on officials recently causing problems. Oh, state scholars teaching vile principles. The crab is good.
I don't see many state scholars.
Well, no, that's like...
but Onamichi rolled a 6 earlier, and that's corrupt and untrustworthy market officials.
Yeah, sounds a bit more administrative, but yeah. No, that's
everyone taking their cut from everyone else,
and that feeds into this whole falling apart
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so the crews in the forts are slowly fracturing off power, and because of this, the next level down, the merchants and the traders are like taking a bigger cut, and things are getting a bit out of control.
Well, it makes sense if you think about it. They've set up these temporary bases as pirates, and they're raiding. And the temporary bases have become more and more permanent as time's gone by. And some of the pirates have pretty much moved on land and no longer see the need to go raiding because they've got an island and populations that do stuff for them now.
Yep.
Why risk yourself when you can just be an island governor?
Indeed.
Petty princelings trying to set up their own little fiefdoms.
I like that. I think that's good. I think we can leave that section there. What I like is that these are fairly, although they're about a particular thing, they're fairly broad sentences. So you can nicely kind of weave them into other things. So I think that's created a nice little background story for the pirates and what's going on there.
It also gives lots of player agency for their ability to either unite the pirates,
absolutely,
under the princess or Alabaster, and bring them back into a sense
or
of
back
power.
under the king, or
to even just
to break them all apart.
Continue breaking them apart, fracture them up, and reduce the threat that they're posed that way.
Yep, absolutely, cool. Okay, so the next one is make a rough map of the area.
We're still on the pirates.
We are. We're just rounding off the pirates. Here we go. Make a rough map of the area. Blah 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 blah. That's fine. Talks about hexes. Make sure to identify neighboring nations or groups. We've already got a map. That's fine. Place ethnic groups and demi-humans. Kingdom might consist of a single monolithic ethnic group. We've already done that. We've talked about those. Flesh out the society and style of the kingdom and its occupants. The section starting on 128 can be used to give character to the zone. The resultant society you create might be equally shared by all the ethnic groups in the kingdom, whether they like it or not, or each group might vary in their own way. The key at this stage is to give enough flavour to the kingdom. You can confidently ad-lib facts and details associated with it. Do we want to do some society stuff? Or do
I think
we
we've got a lot of that already covered, so maybe a quick skim over it, because we know we've got this sort of rough and tumble, mercantile, mercenary environment with villagers paying tithes and taxes, but not many of them, and only when people can be bothered to collect them. So they're getting food and wine from the villagers, but they're getting treasure and stuff and potatoes.
Potatoes, definitely.
Buddy Dave.
What did you bring back this time? What do you think? Okay.
We don't need to worry about physical appearances, values of the society.
Well, that's kind of emerged.
Yeah,
that's kind of emerged from everything.
Societal organisation, we've got that.
I think what I'll do for this is I'll go through this and have a look at what makes sense rather than...
We've got governance, we've got legitimacy, we've got authority, ruling classes, institutions, forms of rulership. This stuff's pretty much all grown out of things that have come before.
Yeah, and that's cool. Well, I think you can begin a lot of these things from different points, can't you?
Yeah.
So, you might take a kingdom and then flip it on its head and go, right, what we'll do for this one is we'll start with society and then we'll go out from there and sort of build it that way. Or you might pick history first, or you might pick, so that's cool. I like that there's different ways to approach
so I
this.
think, for instance, with the tunnelers, we need to start from history, don't we? And look at what predates them, because the tunnelers are very much a bolt-on right near the end now.
Yes. And they're like the end sum, the end result of the equation that's been going on there. The last little bit on the kingdom is assign local gods and religious traditions. Once you have societies and cultures, I think that, again, that's come out, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we've got this thing with the Tritons, which is like this not quite religious, but it's a tradition, and they know these people are from used to be from another world.
Yeah. You've got your
And
gnomes
we've got the crab.
worshipping the dreamer.
Yep.
You've got your crab cultists.
Yep.
You've got
But
your
who do the
tradition of-
pirates? They worship the sea god. Let me get my document out.
I think Jedi mind powers don't work on them. Only money. So is there a coin god or a luck god? Because I think those would be the most common deities followed by pirates.
Yeah, there's also like a seafaring god, but like, I don't want to die.
So you've kind of got three there. You've got a triumvirate of popular deities. Yeah. You've got luck, you've got coin, and you've got seafaring.
They worship gold. Vosgar is the orc god of the sea. And when I say orc god, I don't mean only orcs worship him. He's a god who's an orc. Storm, sailing, and the weather. He is strong, powerful, and blustering as he works with the other powers. All those that set sail make sacrifice and challenges to Vosgar. Most do challenges, I think. Yeah. He wants no soft prayers, but strong words of defiance.
I quite like the idea of him, of lots of orky prow carvings. You know, like how Vikings had the dragon heads on their prows.
Yeah, like
pirates
Vosgar going...
classically have like the beautiful maiden on the prow of the ship. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of the pirates would have sort of orky faces on the front of the ship.
Yeah.
Pulling, like, almost Maori style. With the faces and the tongue out. And all of that kind of stuff.
Piercings and stuff.
As a sort of homage, tribute, come and get me if you think you're hard enough at him.
And that's exactly the kind of thing that Vosgar appreciates.
Yeah.
That challenge. You're going out there to fight his storm.
You are literally headbutting the god with your ship.
Exactly. And that's perfect. And the other one is Jamoral. Jamoral is, here we go, the gnome god of rivers, trade, travel, and coastlines.
So you've got a religious divide as well. You've got the pirates going out to sea with their Vosgar faith, and then you've got the land dwellers with their Jamoral. Jambalaya.
Yep.
So you're Jamoral worshipping land dwellers, who are the gnomes, who have spread their worship in amongst the towns and cities where coin has become important.
Yeah.
So you've shifted this sort of gnomish pastoralness into the cities where trade and monetary exchange is happening, both of which are covered by that god's portfolio.
That god, Jamoral. Let's put it in the chat.
Jamal.
And Vosgar is the... so Jamoral is the gnome god of rivers, trade, travel, and coastlines. He treats with the others as they batter him from the sea, fill his rivers, or make demands of him. His balanced approach brings reassurance to leaders and governments. Peace embeds change through conformity.
That's perfect for the island gnomes, isn't it?
Yep.
And while your average town
and then obviously we'll have the Leviathan.
Yeah.
Which will be the dreamer. Come down from good old Glorim. That's cool. And then we've got the crab god.
Is it actually a god?
Well, sorry. It's a Zon demigod.
Yeah.
Like a Zon lieutenant. What do we call it? Kanika?
Yeah.
But I'll put that down for now. Abhorrent.
Or Kanikami works as well.
What does that mean?
Crab spirit. Tamatoa.
Sorry, I'm just pouring some more wine. Tamatoa. Tamatoa hasn't always been this glam. I was a sad little crab once. Sorry. Okay. And then we've got this kind of not worship, but kind of a sacrifice or to the Tritons, tithe to the Tritons, which is amongst some of the common folk taken on a bit of a tradition and religious kind of like, oh, you must give to the Tritons. And they probably, when they go out on boats, they've got their things of Osgard, their little Jamoral things, chuck a coin in the sea. Oh, and don't forget, you've got to give something precious to the Tritons. Otherwise, they'll come and pull you under, you know, that
Toss
kind
a
of
coin
thing.
to your Triton.
You're really trying to get me to sing tonight, aren't you, Ben?
Well, you've had almost enough wine to be able to.
Yeah, nearly. Don't. Problem is, once I start, I don't stop.
So join us on Thursday for Garblag karaoke.
No. I, as in, yes, I would. And okay.
And we'll be shut down. Not because of copyright breaching, but because of our singing.
I can actually sing, but I just tend not to do that.
But we know Millie can. Yeah,
we know Millie
can. Raise your head there, Mr. GM.
Yeah. Garblag sings. Well, yeah, I don't do sea shanties though. I don't know why I'm doing a seafaring.
Well, you're singing Disney classics. Millie does sea shanties. Apparently, I do the Rat Pack in a Russian accent.
Yep, there you go.
What does Matt sing? Matt's the only non-singing Garblag so far.
No, I think he's a rap. He's a rapper, isn't he?
I don't know. He strikes me more as a kind of country man.
I doubt it very much. I don't know. I'd love to hear what Matt.
Next time he runs
sings.
Deadlands.
He does a mean "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal. Pete versus Millie sing-off. Yeah. Okay, let's stop the singing conversation. So people on YouTube must get really confused what we're talking about sometimes because they can't see the chat. But we love you, YouTube people. You are fantastic. Right, so I'm on the wrong PDF. So we did some gods.
We did.
That's cool. Now, that's the end of the kingdom part. However, there is one bit that I'm interested in doing so we don't forget it because it's quite a funky thing. And I'm trying to find the right page while I'm talking long enough to... we've got Malevolent Cult.
Well, we've got a Malevolent Cult, haven't we? We've got
but there is stuff that you can roll up.
Oh, there is separate Malevolent Cult rolls.
There's like extra stuff. But placing ruins and points of interest. A big thing about the Worlds Without Number fantasy subgenre almost. It's like the dying Earth thing. So it's like it's supposed to be thousands of years after loads of civilizations, and we've talked about the things falling down from Glorium above and the gnomes and all that kind of stuff. Part of it is to be saying, right, we've got some ruins in all these islands because you want stuff to people go and have adventures in.
Do we want a ruin on this set of islands though, or do we want to concentrate the ruins more in the other ones? I mean, I'm totally down with something being here, but I don't think it should be a ruin. I'm thinking more like tidal caves kind of thing. Maybe one of the islands is just a total crisscross of loads of little caves where it was once breeding pools for something aquatic.
Well, there's two tables on this thing which are like places specific to the latter Earth, which I think we'll probably avoid. Book 146. Crashed flying saucer.
I think we'll avoid that one, yeah.
Yeah. That's a dwarven airship. A place specific to the latter Earth. Now, although the World Mountain is a funky setting, it's not quite the latter Earth thing. So things like an alien xenomorphing complex, possibly with a surrounding Aratu, just wouldn't really fit with this. However, the second table, general places of adventure, might be a fun thing to do.
So we will need somebody to roll at least one d20.
I thought we could have 3 d20s, see what
Ooh.
they were, and then on the larger islands, there's one thing that some
So
people...
there might be 1 on 3, 1 on 2, and 2 on 4 potentially.
Maybe. But they're like, or maybe one's in the sea.
Yeah.
That
somewhere
kind
in
of
the
thing.
middle. Or they don't
maybe.
know that there's one, and there's one underneath Island 1 that's actually really cool and would give the secessionists a massive advantage.
This is what I was thinking. Maybe they just haven't discovered something, and it's there, and there's going to be some way for someone to find out about it from outside, that maybe they'll come in. So if people in chat, if anyone wants to roll a d20,
if you have the power to wield a d20, now is the time.
I've got a couple in front of me. I've got a nice big one there.
That's got some chonk on it.
Yeah, look. Did you hear that?
I did, and as you rolled it, we got 3 rolls appear in chat.
And do you know what I rolled? I rolled a 19. And what
19,
did a Sharadell
roll again, now inhabited by interlopers.
Oh.
So we got 7.
A Sharadell, roll again. Okay, 7. Wizard's Tower or Complex?
But that could be something to do with the cult, the crab cult. So almost an inverted tower. So a tower going under instead of a tower going up. A Sharadell got a 4.
Cult.
Ruined fortress inhabited by interlopers.
Oh, I like that. It's like a fortress that they don't use anymore.
Yeah.
And they think, we don't need to use that. I think that feels like it would be on Island 3, where they're like, we got 2, we got 4, we got 1.
How about you go even a bit further out than that and you stick it on that one little island that's right out between 2 and 3.
On the right angle created by a line between 2 and 3.
Yeah. So that one little island that's furthest away from anywhere, maybe they first made landfall there and built a temporary fort. And since that time, it's been overtaken by Sahuagin.
Oh, I like it.
My year 7 students called them Saggy Waggies because they couldn't pronounce Sahuagin.
I normally say something like Sahagin, just because Sahuagin just kind of, you have to up and down a lot, so I just go Sahagin.
What else we got? We got a 7, which is our wizard's tower.
And we had those in Pathfinder, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
We had the
tentacle as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Narodnigzeka rolled a 13. Stronghold of exiles, rebels, or invaders. We kind of got that already.
But that might be Island 1 then.
Yeah.
It's not really a ruin. It kind of, these have to be like slightly.
Yeah, roll again, Narodnigzeka. See what we find. Yeah.
Let's have another roll. The water tower.
Or pick a number. We're not going to know.
So, non-anomaly. Underwater tower in the harbour. Could
like
always
a lighthouse. The fort.
Yeah.
The fort on 4 could be an old lighthouse / wizard's tower that they're using as a lighthouse come cannon point and haven't been able to unlock the secrets of its magical powers.
Oh, okay. So we've got like a lighthouse.
Yeah.
But then in the basement, there's something that's like sealed off.
Yeah.
So they're using the lighthouse, but they don't know...
that underneath it there's a summoning circle
and a huge underground cave system.
Yeah.
That goes on for 4 A1 maps. Okay, cool. Did Narodnigzeka roll again?
Hasn't done yet.
Oh, yeah. Shall I roll a die then?
Yeah, do it.
11.
Nexus point for otherworldly powers. Where the crab died,
Yep.
there's a thin point.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Between here and there, and you put enough power in there and you could bring the crab back. Or other stuff.
Maybe at the bottom of... we could have a weird dungeon here. You could have the carcass of the colossal crab.
Yes.
Buried like in the ocean where it died and its soul was taken by the Leviathan back up to the dream world. Its carcass is there and you could go inside it, and you have to go inside it to the thin point, and I like that term, the thin point, and that's where you have to do a ritual to bring it back to life, which may mean you end up in its intestine when you but that could be a
or you become its controlling force. If you do the ritual inside it, you become the crab.
Whoever's inside it when the ritual happens, you have to get in there. The rituals, someone's going to try and because we know they want to bring it back.
Yeah,
someone's going to try and do it. Strange crabs gather at the thin point. I like that. So maybe there's like,
so you've got a crab full of crabs.
Well, there's like clusters of crabs.
Yo,
like,
dog, I heard you like crabs. But yeah, all the crab meat that came off of this thing. Carcination. Carcination is the process of things becoming crabs. Crabs have evolved separately at least 5 times. But This is a spirit crab, so as its spirit has been pulled out and its meat has rotted away, all the other sea creatures that have come along and eaten it have mutated into crab-like forms. And so you've got all these deep-sea crabby monsters. So you can take any water monster, slap a bit of extra armour on it.
Get a crabby thing.
Maybe stick an extra attack on it for some extra arms.
Crab versions of monsters. I like it. Maybe the stealing of the taking of the spirit and the destruction of the creature, and it's a thin point. There's been slippage the other way. Okay. Cool. Right. We created some interesting things.
Big vats of parsley butter down there. You could plug up the thin point.
Oh yeah. That's the only thing that will do it. How do we enter this dungeon? Well, we need to get this large tool to crack. Come there to hunt. Okay.
Sarah was looking for a song.
Looking for a song. Trying to remember the lyrics of a song. Cool. Okay. Right. So, sorry, I just wanted to not skip ruins because we probably won't get to do all of the tunnelers. So, but I wanted to do some of the ruins stuff because the ruins thing is like one of the things for Worlds Without Number to generate those kinds of adventures and places to go. Cool. Okay. Right. So,
a nexus point for otherworldly powers is definitely the best general place of adventure.
That is a great thing. Soft shell crab god sandwiches. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to go on to the tunnelers.
Right. Bear with me for a second then.
Oh,
I'm going to have to. That's the wrong thing.
The producer is going to switch over the maps.
So I'm transitioning. Oh, look, we're on the holding screen. You can still hear us. And now I'm going to image 2. No, not image 2.
He's going to crash his PC.
I'm not going to crash my PC.
I'm joking.
And what am I going to do with that? I am.
Oh, we've disappeared.
What? Yeah, we're supposed to have disappeared. Don't do that.
I know. Sorry.
WWN tunnelers.
A shout else, but we can still hear you. Whoop whoop.
And I'm going to seamlessly, I tell you, seamlessly transition back, and lo and behold, there's the new map. That's consummate professionalism.
I can't see it yet on mine.
But
I believe you. So, I need to get the map into my
There she blows.
document.
So we've got another 4 islands from the Tunnelers island chain, and you can already see
Yeah, so I didn't include all of them because I wanted a square map. I don't know why. I was just being a bit weird today.
That's a good shout, Kargan Demon Claw. Eating of the crab, how you become part of the cult.
Ooh,
It's got a nice Warhammery vibe to it, hasn't it?
That does. But it has to be of the original mega crab.
So you got some of the oldest members of the cult who are now shambling, beclawed monstrosities. And so they won't mind becoming a crab god. And the younger members of the cult who have maybe been like eating crab or wearing a bit of shell around their neck because they can't get access to the real crab meat anymore.
I like that.
But the priests have got a secret stash of this pickled crab meat that they use for vision quests and things.
Yeah, it's really bad and it's old and
absolutely horrible. It's leathery. It's pickled.
Like that. It's like that Scandinavian fish in that tin.
Lutefisk.
That you're not allowed. Yeah, lutefisk. I give you a quart of lutefisk for the bad feelings. Sorry, we watch Frozen about 8 times a week with my kids because it helps to pacify them. Okay.
We use brandy.
Tried that, but
no, not on the kids.
Oh no, just on me. Okay, right. So we've got 3 islands. Now there is actually another island to the north, but that deals with the Aarakocra.
Yes.
Because we didn't list that as one of our kind of core cultures. I thought, executive decision. I just wanted to zoom in a bit so we could see the islands.
You are the executive director of Garblack. Managing director, sorry, not executive director.
And founder, yeah. So Island 1 is actually like the central island of the chain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that's closest
and it's
to the
everything
middle of
south.
Of them.
Exactly, and then everything else is south of that because that's where we're most likely for people to kind of come into this area. And we've got the bits in the sea which represent the collapse of the stalactites with gnome cities falling down. In the megaplex, as it's called in the book. And then we've got the southern island, which, if I remember correctly, how much longer you want to stay out for, Ben? You all right for a while?
I'm all right for a bit, yeah.
Find.
Oh yeah, the one roll malevolent cult. I see what you mean.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, I forget. Yeah.
No, we're cool. I mean, we've already got our malevolent cult. I was just scrolling back up to get to what was it we were looking for? History.
Yeah. So the Tunnel Guilders. Yeah. So here we go. Magical disaster and decadence. They're on
139. No. That's historical events.
So we've got name the region first.
Oh, so we're back to 119.
Which my document now is cool. So here we go. Major geographical. Sorry, I'm on the wrong page. 119. Yes.
So I think if we're naming these islands, it's Fallen and then the name of a gnomish city. And we've already established that there's a gnomish city called Nuckelvang, so it needs to be something in that
Neckelvang.
Neckelvang.
Yeah.
So
and I thought I had some other names of gnomish cities, and I think they all kind of ended with Vang.
Yeah, which is cool.
So like Folvang or
Fallen Folvang is a bit too much for fee.
No, as in like it used to be called Fallen something Vang, and now they've
it's
just
called
like
Folvang.
smudged it to
Yeah, that works.
Folvang Islands or something. Brommelvang.
Fallen Brommelvang kind of works as well. Because it's not old enough yet to be Fulbravang.
It was a while ago, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
Fulbravang. I like that. I actually like that.
Drop the G off the end as well. As humans and stuff.
Fulbravan.
Humans of stuff have come in and have mangled the
Just
gnomish.
like, yeah. Fulbravan. I like that. Fulbravan Islands. Or just Fulbravan.
Both works. I think people call it Fulbravan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a chain of islands. It's a nation. It's known as Fulbravan. I like that. That's cool. Right.
And down at 4 is where it touches on the settlers, and up at 1 is where it starts to touch towards the Aarakocra.
Well, 1 is actually the Tunnelers Island.
Yeah.
There's another island north of there that deals with the Aarakocra.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so we've got the history, right? So we've got magical disaster. Originally noble investigators and higher guards. They are all that's left.
Yeah.
So they killed all the. Oh yes, we're going to investigate the crashed cities, and we want to go and have a look.
Investigators went in to investigate, and while they were investigating, something supernatural happened, and the mercenaries went, "No, we're not being paid enough for this."
Yeah, fuck this.
And they just left.
We'll wait outside.
Left all the researchers. The researchers have been exploded into a sort of spirity, ghost-like state.
Yeah. And then the other one was decadence, so blinged up mercs, shiny armor and stuff.
Yeah.
But they're looking after tunnels.
Yeah. I've got a sword that will cut through rocks. What do you use it for? Cutting through rocks.
Yeah. I'm a bit bored. Queen scene investigation. Okay.
Just seeing like a bunch of really chavvy mercs with the weapons from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
From the Dragon's Graveyard episode of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. So one of them's got the sword, one of them's got the trident and the net as well. I always thought they should have kept those, but obviously that would have been OP.
Oh yeah, because nothing else about that was OP.
I mean, they were still level 2 or something, weren't they?
They were level 2,
just
just like +5 magic items.
Yeah, it's like every teenager's D&D game. Oh, you find a holy avenger. That's like, okay. Okay, so we've got a magical disaster, right?
Which was the city falling out of the sky because the power source exploded.
Yes. But then we have a supernatural invasion.
So as one load of gnomes naff off into the dream realm to escape the catastrophe...
I'm more thinking there's a leftover thing.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that as they leave, it jumbles up the spirit worlds around them, and that allows bleed in and crossover.
Absolutely, and from the dark Zon side of the spirit world.
Yeah.
But then the bit where the higher guards step away is obviously going to happen a bit later. Like in fairly recent history, I would think.
Yeah. So all this spooky woobly stuff's going on down there, and finally some investigators turn up to have a poke around and a look, and they hire these mercenaries to deal with the monsters that they're facing, assuming that they're dealing mostly with physical monsters. And they get down far enough and they kick off this supernatural... Apocalypse, and the muscle
Super apocalypse,
because they've got nothing that can hurt ghosts and spirits and demons.
Yeah, so supernatural.
No, mate, I signed on to fight monsters. That's a demon.
Like being explored. Guns way when it hits the fan. SHTF. They are all that's left, and then decadence, blinged up mercs. Now, the magical disaster. So we're talking about the history of the location, the history of the people, Because the history of location, the magical disaster at the beginning. What goes on in between that, and then the investigators turn up?
So yeah, we need stuff, don't we? We need it to be weird. I'm
We
thinking
need it to be real weird.
this is Guardians of the Galaxy
Like-
Volume 2. I'm gonna make some weird
Cats
shit.
and dogs living with each other, all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah.
So, do we want there to be some crazy shiznick
Dinosaurs.
going on?
That's what we want. Fucking dinosaurs.
Why don't we go to the malevolent cult? No. Which table can we use for this?
Is there a weird shitometer?
Various things have a bit of a weird shitometer.
Okay, so there's the one roll terrain features details, which has got some ideas. If you're looking like quirks and uses, some of those might work. Not nations.
Oh, like what antagonists are common there?
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. We've got like elemental emanations of the disordered land. Oh, right. Hang on, Ben. You chat to the
Do a little dance to entertain the
for
folks.
a second. I'll be back in a minute.
Yep. See, Millie agrees with me on dinosaurs, which is good. So we've got dinosaurs. Dinosaurs is definitely a thing. I like dinosaurs in D&D. It's a recent thing for me. I don't know where it came from, but one day I was like, you know what? D&D needs more dinosaurs. And so we got to put those bad boys in, which makes sense because then you hire a group of mercenaries to come with you, and the mercenaries are there to fight dinosaurs. And you're thinking, yeah, we got the dinosaurs covered. We've got these mercenaries. Then you go underground and it's like, it's not dinosaurs anymore. It's ghosts and spooks and spirits and spirim and spectres and all the freaky stuff. Hostile sentient monster civilization. That sounds dangerously underdarky to me. Don't like the Underdark. Sorry, people. I know some of you do. Never been a fan. What else? Oh, a type of cunning, dangerous beast. So we're talking about having displacer beasts in there. There's a zombie T-Rex filled with bees. Okay, that's got some mileage. Keep Simon happy. The flora and fauna are queasily off. That makes sense as well. So I think almost like some sort of time distortion. So it's looking good. Oh, wait, actual Wizards of the Coast published adventure, zombie T-Rex full of bees. I'm sold.
Hello, what's that? A zombie T-Rex full of bees?
Yep, in Tomb of Annihilation, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, we're liking dinosaurs. So we're thinking dinosaurs are on that island, and hence the mercenaries. Because they're like, yeah, we can fight dinosaurs. We're big, rough, tough soldier boys. Then you get down into the hole, and it's not dinosaurs anymore. It's weird stuff.
Okay, so what's the historical dinosaurs? Let's just put dinosaurs on there.
Yeah, and I think time is weird on those islands.
Which island?
All of them?
All of them.
Yeah. So I think you've got dinosaurs, you've got all of the plants are just a bit wrong there. Like you're dealing with almost primeval plants and things like that.
Okay.
So you haven't got forests of normal trees. You've got fern forests and massive fungus forests and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think you're
I like the
at,
idea of fungus forests because it freaks me out, and therefore I think other people would be freaked out.
But a primeval element in a D&D, I love primeval bits in Dungeons and Dragons. Just saying to our lovely friends on chat that
Thanks, chat.
the zombie T-Rex filled with bees can also misty step. Somebody had fun writing that bad boy.
Did Simon create this adventure? You could have the laws of physics breaking down the deeper you go, and plants and animals begin taking on each other's characteristics. Sing. I do like the idea that this maybe it's the collision of Glorim and Arlorn together. So the dinosaurs could be from Glorim,
Yeah.
you know, and like
And then with
things
the
could be a bit
plants and animal
weird.
things,
There's like a verdancy that's
you've got
unnatural to people on Arlorn that freaks them out. Have you seen what's that film with Natalie Portman
yes,
where
that one.
they go with the thing and the people are things are grow. It's like it's like that kind of weird growth
Yeah.
body horror type thing.
Cordyceps fungus.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the film. It's called something like
I know the one you mean. Oh, there you go. It's called Annihilation.
Annihilation. That's the one. Yes, yeah, quite like that.
Hey,
It's
what
quite
if
funky.
we trip acid and write the next official adventure? Let's not do that because that would be dangerously reckless of us.
Okay, so we've got a giant mutant fungus forest with dinosaurs.
But that does allow for a hallucinogenic spore effect on people in that forest. We did say it was going to be weird.
Well, no, that's but hallucinogenic, right? But... Oh, there we go. Why don't we give Simon acid and let him write the next adventure? No, never do that. Never do that. Never give anybody acid, but especially not Simon. Evil Gilmore's part, he doesn't need it.
So what?
You're not wrong.
What Kargan said about animals and plants taking on each other's characteristics, you've already got in setting. You've got a bunch of carnivorous plants and stuff, and weird stuff like ropers and piercers that work as monsters.
Yep. And I like the idea of fungal T-Rexes and, these vicious... The carnivorous plants have obviously got something from the animals, but switch it the other way around and you've got, some interesting things going on.
A T-Rex with little mushrooms running down its back.
So are we going to say that's like an infestation then?
Yeah. Feeling a bit bad because this is kind of spoilers for my Those Dark Places game next Friday.
What?
I know, right? I'd already written down ideas about cordyceps and the French.
And the French. Okay, I'll leave that to a fungal jungle. A fungal. I love it. Well done, Sharadell. So we've got magical disaster, then Glorim infestation of dinosaurs, then supernatural sites being explored, and then decadence. So the new supernatural sites being explored is when the hired guards kind of stepped away and said, you guys have dug too deep. And maybe all the mages got annihilated by fungal things. And they now got absorbed into
there from
they got absorbed in mycelial network.
Yeah.
Here we go. Mages absorbed into mycelial network. Cool. Sounds good.
And then you can use myconids and stuff as well.
Yeah. Can get all those guys in. That's cool. I like that. I mean, I figured that would kind of where tunnels, you'd have some myconid stuff in there, but I like the inclusion of the natural element from Glorim going into it rather than it just being some sort of, it's a dank cave, Should we just roll one random history event to chuck in there and then we can see where it would go well in between those? Or do we think those 4 things are enough for the tunnelers?
What page are we looking at?
We're looking at book 136.
I would suggest that we throw in a historical crisis of some kind, but we roll 3 and pick the best one.
Okay, so people in chat, please roll a D100. And we will pick one of 3.
Because some of them are good, some of them are less good.
Yeah, some of them are good.
Fighting, not really going to fit.
No, they're all good depending on D1. Oh, 13. Blimey. Divine wrath upon them.
13, 96, 47. Hut.
Vicious civil warfare. Oh, blimey, here we go. Onamichi, 47. Magical calamity. I think we've already had one.
Yeah, we got that.
Non-anomaly, 29. Ideological divide. And a Sharadel, 55. Miserable poverty. I think we're looking at divine wrath upon them or vicious civil warfare, aren't we?
I think divine wrath, because vicious civil warfare implies the two sides are equally matched. So,
well, it could be. There could be a civil war going on between different factions of the now tunnelers. But I don't think we see them like that, do we? We see. That's true. They're kind of like few and far between, holding on to a position based on their, The crab god came back and kicked ass. And where does that
wrath upon you?
Where does that fit in?
That's this place is abandoned by the gods. Healing magic doesn't work, or something really horrible like that.
Ooh.
Or didn't
that
work.
Is. No. I like where you're going.
So you've almost got like a divine anti-magic zone.
Is that like now?
Yeah, that's a lingering effect.
Because they're fucking with the tunnels.
Because the arcane magic exploded so much that you've got like this divine anti-magic field over islands 2 and 3 possibly. Or one of them, if you're feeling a bit generous.
1, 2, and 3, I think. I think people then get shipped out to 4 for magical healing if they need it.
2. Its epicenter is on 2, and it gets less bad the further out you go.
Yeah.
So, like, again, Planescape. Down
different
at the ground
planes
of the
have
big
different...
mountain.
Yeah.
The closer you get to the big mountain in the middle, less and less levels of spells work, don't they?
Exactly.
So out at the ring in the frontier towns, you can use any magic, but the closer you get to the middle, less and less magic works till you're down to first level spells in the middle. So like on Island 2, you can only use the most basic of healing spells.
Yep. No, on Island 2, you can't use any
divine magic.
No. And then the thing, the challenge we have with that is in Worlds Without Number,
doesn't it?
There's no divine magic. There's just mage. So it's like healing magic. Well, no, it just adds a level of like, well, shit, we can't heal you here.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to sail a few hours south to get to the island where divine magic works, and then heal you.
Are sticking out of your back.
It's not the end of the world, unless they're shipwrecked there.
All right, so no healing magic works on Island 2. Islands 1 and 3, limited healing magic.
Yeah.
And that's literally physical healing. So your curses, your diseases, your things like that, they're not getting healed on 1 or 3.
Yeah.
Maybe it's trying to heal you in its own way. I love it, Asharadar.
Oh, yes.
The fungal infestation is a divine curse, and it's trying to heal you, but it's not working with divine
But not
magic.
in a way you want it to.
Yeah. We can heal you, but first we have to sail to Island 4 and pick all these mushrooms off you.
It just doesn't work if you're not a plant or a bee-infested T-Rex.
Smallest work, Millie, not the biggest. The more powerful healing you try to use, the more fungal you end up turning them.
Oh, yeah, it's not that it doesn't work. It's that you get fungal.
Yeah, so you cast healing magic and you get fungal, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And once you've been healed your full amount of hit points in fungal healing, your character is now a fungus and no
You're
longer
a
a playable
myconid.
character. Yeah.
Yep, like it. Cool. Does that include subterranean tunnels of the tunnelers? I suppose it's just the same effect. It's like a radius, isn't it? And the tunnels, fungus is down there.
Yeah.
You got to watch out for that fungus. Okay, cool. I think
we
that's...
went to Island 2 and our colleague died horribly. But the greatest tragedy of all is that we ate him and got high.
We fried him up, and he was really good with some beans, sausage, and black pudding in the morning. It was fantastic. Okay, right. So we've done history. I think that's good. Decide how it is ruled, and identify the ruler. I think we're less solid on this one.
Barely ruled.
It's barely ruled, but do we want to like a roll for this?
I don't think there's much point. I think we're looking at a couple of little mercenary-run enclaves around the tunnel entrances. So almost military rank. Each enclave is run by a captain.
But do they work together? Or is it just like you're going to go across these islands and come across 20 different factions of tunnelers?
That would be easy to break up, though, wouldn't it? You need some kind of central authority. So
there
they need
needs
some
to be
kind of
something.
magic item like
Let's go to
radios.
page 132. Government construction. We haven't done one of these yet.
We haven't.
Here we go. Is it a low density government? Exist in tribal societies, small fiefs, compact institutions such as monasteries.
It is a low
medium
density government, isn't it?
What else? Yeah, somewhere around there. Let's have a look. Ruling authority, number of rulers. Is it? I think it's probably like a group of approximate equals.
Yeah.
Or several under kings. I don't know whether it's going to be like 5 groups of tunnelers, and they each have like a big dude or dudette, and
I
they
think
meet
one
up
sort
occasionally
of
to be like
boss dude still works. Otherwise, it's easy to play them off against each other. Oh, right.
Yeah,
fine.
we don't want it to just be like a rock up for those tunnelers. And
we're not. If you won't
get
let
them
us into the tunnels, we'll go and see those guys. They're our mates. You want them to be able to go, these arseholes are coming to try and get in the tunnels. Don't let them in.
Yeah, let's go back to the... Because we had them as cunning 1, force 5, and wealth 4.
So like a colonel who's in charge, not a general. Nothing that big. He was once just a captain, but now he likes to be a colonel. And he's got a couple of lieutenants. So there are lieutenants at each of the islands who are in charge of each of the encampments. And you've got a colonel in Island 4, where it's safe, calling the shots.
Island 4. Yeah.
Because that way he's got full access to divine healing.
Yeah, he can heal. He obviously wants to be where he can heal up. Yeah. And it's not going to be a city, though. It's just going to be like a town with a fort.
Yeah. It's literally just going to be a fortified encampment.
A slightly fungal fort.
One of the main entrances. But, one of their jobs is routinely going around and burning off the fungus from the outside of the fort.
Yeah, I like that.
In Guild Wars 2, there's one of the nations was once sunk below the waves in an ancient undead catastrophe. And so now that they've been raised, it's all covered in coral and seaweed and stuff like that.
Cool.
So similar sort of vibe for that, but they've got little forts that your forces occupy, and they're little walled forts. And once you go outside them, everything's hostile and tries to kill you. So something like that.
Yeah, it feels like it's not trying to kill you. It's trying to merge with you.
Yeah, well, that's what mushrooms do. They're detritivores.
Yeah, exactly.
They break things down and make more mushrooms.
Yeah, so you're being assimilated in a biological sense.
Yeah.
And that's going on the whole time on these islands. So they've got like these little enclaves dotted around the islands. And then occasionally they meet up to talk about, new areas explored.
And because they can use the tunnels, they can skip past the worst of the fungus.
Yeah.
Which is one of the
They've cleared out
advantages
pathways.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, occasional. Cool. That's good. I like that. Clear out certain tunnels.
And by the time you make it to one of their enclaves, you're so grateful to find a place that isn't covered in mushrooms.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, I'm getting a bit fungal over here.
Once you have to start picking little shrooms from out between your fingers.
Your toes. Pull your socks off and you've got like mushrooms growing under your toenails and stuff. It's like, clear out certain tunnels to enable travel and communication. Okay. Yep. Cool. That's cool. I like that. That's good.
That got really mushroomy really quickly.
It did get really mushroomy really quickly. And what was the other thing we were talking about the mycelial network on? Can't remember. Your Wild Sea.
Yeah.
Your Wild Sea show we did. Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Garbler Games can neither confirm nor deny the legitimacy of mushrooms as a ruling power.
Yeah, I mean, they make fast networks. They just don't make networks between stars. That's the only thing.
Or do they?
They don't. But hey, it's a thing. We know they're big things, and the biggest thing on Earth might be a mycelial network.
It was unobtainium, wasn't it? It was the space unobtainium.
Yeah. It's like star fungus. Okay, anyway. Right, so how it's ruled and identify the rulers. Identify the enemies of the rulers. Everybody else,
yeah.
And the islands themselves.
Yeah. Geezers who want to start some shit.
The islands themselves. Bee-filled T-Rex. And everybody else. Because they're plundering those tunnels for the artifacts of Brommelvan. And now it's called Falbravan.
Falbravan works,
okay.
Actually.
How do you...
Oh, we can't use
put it in the
King
chat.
Of Bees. We can't use the B-Rex. It's a Wizards of the Coast thing.
Okay. I wasn't being serious about the bee-filled T-Rex. Sorry.
No. It's a lovely idea.
It's a WotC exclusive. Okay, we've got a wasp-filled Stegosaurus.
Fun fact about...
no, Triceratops, sorry.
T-Rex and Stegosaurus. T-Rex is closer to owning an iPhone than it is to eating a Stegosaurus.
Wow.
Yep.
That's awesome. But he wouldn't be able to do...
No, I mean...
He couldn't use it properly, could he? Because it's little... Lars does this to me. He goes... And that means I'm a T-Rex. And then I have to chase him around like he's a T-Rex. Okay. So enemies, the islands themselves and everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what I've put for the enemies.
Yeah, they've basically got this sort of bunker mentality, haven't they? It's us against the world. We've got to get what we can.
Yeah, and even if you turn up with a load of money and you buy some cool artifacts from us and pay for passage into the tunnels to go and find some stuff, we still hate you.
Yeah. And the only reason they're prepared to shelter the shipbuilder's daughter is because he might be able to furnish them with ships to get them off of here with all their loot.
Yeah.
So it's a quid pro quo situation.
Yeah. Millie's put Lars stories are brilliant. Not today. He punched someone else. He punched a boy at the park. He's 4. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's 4. It's what they do.
Okay. I mean, I have been training him up in the ring, but you know. Right. Next, problems. Choose one or more problems or goals it's facing.
What page?
Page 135 can help.
Splendid. One roll government details. What problems do the ministers have? There are no ministers.
Yeah.
Recent governmental event. That's a D20.
Ah, that sounds good. Let's have a D20 from Millie. Come on. Isn't it generally at this stage of a stream where Millie's joined in halfway that we get her to actually join in the stream and then contribute?
Hold on, let me stretch Windows.
Right, let's have a D. Ooh, crabs of fungal infections. The adventurers are going to have so much fun. Yes, Evil Gilmore.
Right, roll
it's gonna be lots of
4d6
fun.
then, Millie, and then subtract 4 from what you roll.
What? I only have D6s now. What?
She's totally bought into the Free League thing.
I know.
That's it. She's thrown away all of her other dice. 13. Our folk
13.
hero rose to dangerous popularity.
Oh. A folk hero rose to dangerous popularity.
So this, I think, is probably someone who managed to sneak past them, pick up a magic item that made him fungus immune.
Yeah. Oh. I like that. Fungus immune. Item / person. Adventurer who made it in, made it out. See, I figure that a lot of the people who turn up to the tunnelers and say, hey, yeah, we want to pay you money to go into the tunnels. The tunnelers are like, yeah, go for it, mate. There's fucking dinosaurs and spiders and ghost things and fungus. Yeah, go for it. And most of them just die.
Yeah, and the ones that do come back, the tunnelers look at them and go, used up all your healing magic? Used up all your spells? You look a bit battered and beaten? Time for a shoeing.
Yeah. Or shitload of money for passage to Island 4. Okay, so we had an adventurer who came, saw, conquered, and
is basically roaming the wilds. It's got some ridiculous folk hero type who rides
still roaming the wilds. He's on a T-Rex,
riding a T-Rex.
Still roaming.
Robin the Fungus Man.
T-Rex. Okay, cool. His name is B. Evans. Where were we? No, now. So the tunnelers had some information. The tunnelers are annoyed with the settlers because their immigrants are gaining great influence close to the tunnels close to a tunnel entrance on Island 4. So maybe this is all going on Island 4.
Island 4, yeah.
This is one of the settlers who's come over.
So maybe he's not riding a dinosaur then. That might be a bit much because the Island 4
he's still roaming, but he's got a machete and like canvas tents and exploring the island and maybe like fumigating with,
he's found another entrance to the tunnels that comes out where there aren't mushrooms and dinosaurs, so he's been able to go in and out of the tunnels and come out with sackloads of goodies that they didn't know about, so they're pissed
but they
off
don't know
him,
where it is,
and they don't know where that is.
Okay, that's going to be one of our ruins then.
Yeah, his name is Kung Fury.
That
would explain the laser velociraptors.
It's the Viking Age. That explains the laser velociraptors. Okay, so that's an important site that they've found. Ruin. I'm putting ruin in caps there. Okay. Cool. Marley the Mushroom King. It's Kung Fury. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love a bit of Kung Fury. I love that old Thor. He's just so cool. Hello. Do we want another roll in the problems, or is that problem enough?
I think that'll do
it. It kind of ties into the thing we were talking about previously as well. So I think that's pretty cool.
So I think, on that episode of Firefly, when they go to the Mudder planet and everybody's got loads of songs about Jane.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the kind of folk hero we're talking about. They've got loads of songs about him, about all the clever things that he's done, and this guy is he's like, all right, yeah, okay, I'll take the popular appeal. Sweet.
Yeah. He's not actually super duper, but everyone thinks he is because of some exaggerated rumors.
Yeah. So he's managed to get his hands on some tasty stuff.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Mudder's milk.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm thinking a mushroom wine.
Yeah, no,
mushroom
better than
juice.
That. He's managed to come up with some kind of drink that means that the mushrooms don't affect you, almost like an antifungal.
Oh.
So the settlers are going to have an advantage if they're not affected by the fungus.
Maybe the item that he found is some sort of vessel, some sort of bowl or water, carrying device that when you put the water in it, pour it out, or a certain liquid of a certain kind, it makes it antifungal.
I like the idea of an antifungal wine.
Yeah.
That's a nice
Has
touch.
to be wine.
You have to get
poured.
drunk on the wine.
Yeah, and then your hangover exists. But whilst you're hungover,
once you get drunk on it once, that's it. Mushrooms don't affect you anymore.
Oh, just ever? No, I think it might be like a
short-term thing. So he keeps
it likes to
using
last
it.
a week or something.
Yeah, that works.
You drink it, lasts a week, and then it wears off because you poo and sweat it out.
Durational is good.
Yeah. Week duration, and it has to be wine.
Yeah.
Which also then ties in with the pirates and the goat wine.
Yeah.
I know it's not goat wine. Cool.
Don't make wine from goats.
No.
Squishing them with bare feet can be uncomfortable.
Okay. Make a rough map of the area.
Done.
Oh no, other way. That way.
Yeah. It's that way.
And then place ethnic groups and demi-humans. I think again this is going to be wine for goats. Yes, I like it, Millie. I think again this is going to be because these are mercenaries who've been hired from local areas, and probably from maybe in past some of the pirate nations, maybe Erebag, maybe Gomar and areas. These people will be diverse, so I think I'm not going to specify a particular primary demographic. Flesh out the society and style. I think this is one nation that we should roll like what they wear, because I've got no other than antifungal clothing, which I'm not sure.
Well, we know that they're wearing whatever they can get their hands on, the tastiest armor they can
and what
find.
is it? So let's roll some dice to see what their fashion is.
Okay, where's the fashion page?
That is page 128. Where's the fashion page?
The fashion page? Oh yeah, physical appearance.
Yeah.
We don't need
not necessarily
hair colour.
physical appearance, but like
common forms of adornment.
That sounds good.
That's D12.
If anyone in chat wants to roll a D12.
We don't need values of the society. So yeah, it's...
Optional physical quirks or traits. If you want to roll a D20 as well, anyone.
D12s and D20s. Throw a couple of them around.
Just put the die, maybe put 12 for 20.
Or, just
D12s.
6.
Yeah. This would be the D12. So Millie's rolled a 6.
Patent hair shaving or depilation? I think depilation. It's harder for mushrooms to take hold if you shave everything.
What's 1? Intricate hairstyles or braiding? I don't think those two things go together.
They don't. But we could take the one, they possess an extra eye somewhere.
Oh, here we go. Real sea chickens, but D12 of 4. Piercings, like it.
Yeah. Shaven-headed and piercings.
Yeah, maybe with piercings, whether minor or elaborate. Elaborate. And then on the D20 a 9. And then non-anomalies on a D20 an 18. So 9 is the sexes look very similar to outsiders.
When you're wearing that much armour and you've shaved your hair off.
And 18.
The proportions are distinctly strange. I think that's more likely to be a property of you staggering in from a mushroom forest.
I think that's
you've
more
got such big
sort of
hands.
alien type thing where like everyone's 8 foot tall.
I think if their skin is an unusual texture works.
Or 11, their voices are peculiar in some way. Hello.
Bear in mind,
tunnelers.
you've got to do the voice.
Well, I can say they sound strange. Hello.
We did have some mushroom people in LARP once, and they all had very high-pitched voices because they were producing gases in their bodies that made their voices high-pitched. So they were talking very much like this all of the time.
Is that scary?
Not particularly.
Okay. It's all the mushroom spores in the air. Let's look similar to outsiders. What were the other options?
We got shavings and piercings.
Yeah, we got hair depilation and piercings, elaborate piercings. That's good. I like that. They are blinging it up and cutting their hair because of.
I think that's enough. If you go much more into
stuff
that, then
around
you're going to start looking like WoW characters.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Have one or many manipulatory tentacles?
No. Just got this mental image of you talking to this
Pat in the chat?
completely normal guy, and then a tentacle just comes over and slicks his hair back. No.
It's not on his shoulder.
No.
It's lower down.
Londo malaria effect.
Okay, here we go. Right, let's go back up to kingdom. So ethnic groups, societies, we've got hair depilation, elaborate piercings, assign local gods and religious traditions. Well, I think some of them might be a bit disillusioned with the gods because of the lack of divine magic on Island 2.
Yeah, we've got Atheist Island going on.
Well, yeah, not necessarily atheists, because they know the gods are real.
Yeah.
But they just ignore this zone for some reason.
So I think maybe on Island 4, you've got a temple.
Yeah.
But in Islands 1, 2, and 3, they're a little bit, atheist. Yeah, we know the gods are real.
Atheist is the denial of God.
Well, all right, we know the gods are real, but we don't work for them.
Yeah, just like anti-God, like fuck
anti-theist.
You. Yeah.
Eloi, lama sabachthani.
I put pissed at the gods on Island 1, 2, and 3. Island 4. Can you imagine? It's like, yeah, all the Island 1, 2, 3 are like, fuck you, and then Island 4 like, yes, thank you very much. It's like,
really sorry.
Yeah, maybe it's gods have forsaken them. They have, because it's this massive collision. And
well, the gods don't really care about them. They've forsaken the islands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're choosing to live there, mate.
This magical, horrible collision has caused a kind of blind spot for the gods. Oh, God's fear getting taken over by mushrooms. I quite like that.
You got
Quite
Zugut
like
Moi, one of the demon princesses of the Nine Hells in D&D, haven't you? The fungus demon goddess being.
Well, the mushroom entity is just a persistent background galactic mycelium network, so it just wants to take over everything. So Island 4, temples, and lots of begging forgiveness. That's cool. But they'll worship similar gods like Vosgar and Jamoral. They won't care about the Leviathan. They won't. But I think Zon, maybe this fungal thing is an element of Zon.
Yeah. That works.
Very, very Zon. Cool. Okay, right. So that's our gods. So it took us a bit of time to do the kingdom of the Pirate Islands, but having run through it once, I think we're a bit quicker than with the oldie Falbravan.
I think Falbravan is how
Falbravan
is what the humans call it, and the
I need to put an
gnomes
apostrophe in there then. Falbravan.
Bravan. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Okay, so Falbravan and Acreus, Ipea. We still need to figure out the Pirate Island name, but we'll figure that out, and you guys will find out in a couple of weeks' time.
So we can have Acreus, Ipea, and 2 others.
4 islands. Sorry, I was thinking 4 candles.
4 candles.
4 candles. Right. I know it's getting late. Do we want to round up there? I was going to say ruins, but there's probably ruins all over.
Yeah, the whole thing is ruins.
So the whole thing is ruins. So it would be like a ruins of the week kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. So I think what we've got there is a good summary, and hopefully you guys have seen, some of the tools. Some of the tools available in Worlds Without Number. Yeah, we did the world position in the first episode. We started talking about the region. We finished the regions in episode 2, and in this session we've gone through a couple of kingdoms to show you some of the breakdown and the layers of how those things work.
Join us next week as we begin adventuring in a completely different place.
Yeah, no, in 2 weeks' time.
Yes,
we're going to start an adventure with a crew of a ship that's heading out from Erebag towards these islands to investigate something, and you'll find out in a couple of weeks' time. And so far, we've got Aldun, Jim, and Ben as part of that crew. And what will be quite interesting is it's quite old school in terms of its lethality. So it may be that we have to fall back on and now I'm playing the first mate, and now I'm playing the deckhand. But there'll be enough of a population on the boat.
I am Dobby Draper, the Marine Sergeant.
Yes. There'll be enough population on the boat to allow for a couple of deaths if that happens. Not saying it's going to happen. But you can see the kind of world that they're heading into, the Pirate Islands, and then the Falbravan. I like that name, actually. That's great. That's really growing on me.
Hey! You know what, Pete? You're such a fun guy.
I know. Sorry. No, but Ben, thank you for joining in those 3 sessions. I think it's been really fun.
Dad joke territory.
It was. That's perfect. And I really like this book. I think it's got some really good tools, some really good tables, and some good advice on how to keep things tight to the game you're running.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a play around with it as well.
Oh, yeah.
It is a really useful tool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it says in there as well, if you're just going to do for fun, then that's fine. This will work just the same. And you can kind of go into the nth degree on every little town and village you have. And it goes down to the village level and all kinds of stuff. But it's cool. It's good that there's a bit in there that's trying to keep you honest to the game that you're running as well, which I quite like, which for someone like myself and maybe like Ben, I don't want to speak for Ben, but it's good to have someone going, hey, think about the bit you actually need, which is handy. So thank you very much for joining us for a bit of world building with Worlds Without Number. Hopefully you found that entertaining or interesting in some way. Next week, let's cover off the rest of this week. Tomorrow we've got the Once Upon a Time in the Old World, Wofrup 4th edition. Jim running a very entertaining game. On Thursday, I will be running
Soulbound.
Can you see? You can't see that.
It blurred out the second you got it near the
There
camera.
you go. There you go. Soulbound starter set. Running the adventure. That. Faltering Light. Faltering Light. I've been reading through and it's a lot of fun. And I'm actually a bit sad I hadn't looked at it earlier.
And Simon's going to be an elven wizard.
Simon is going to be an elven water mage who wants to summon bees from raindrops. So that's going to be fun. On Friday,
we've got the main part, so part 1 to 1.5 of our Changed Stars 2-shot. We did character creation and an introduction to the adventure last Friday. We're going to pick that up and go and find out what's happened on this colony and where all the people are. Next session on Friday.
Cool.
And then Monday next week, we're back with The Expanse, and I'm a captain. Kapawu boss man.
Yeah, I'm just. Mira's like, does anyone want to join in for a bit? I was like, I can't do the accent. But yeah, no, that is fantastic. The Expanse is lots of fun. Millie is running The Expanse on the channel. Everyone in chat's probably seen it, but if you're watching back on YouTube later and you haven't seen it, do check that out. It's fantastic, really getting into the feel of The Expanse, and Millie's doing a great job of corralling some crazy people in the right direction for the story of Abzu's bounty. So that's really cool. And then next week on Tuesday, not fully formed yet, but because it's May the 4th, we haven't done Star Wars in a long time. I thought, hey, I'll run a Star Wars one-shot. Why not? Just for May the 4th.
Can I be a Jedi?
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
I thought, why not? Why not? So we're going to be doing that. Just as a one-off with Fantasy Flight Games system. And we're going to be seeing between now and then I'll be coming up with the story, so that'll be fun. But it will be a one shot, so it will be like, a couple of things, and then we'll 2 weeks from now we'll be starting a Worlds Without Number series on Tuesday nights, 9:00 BST. And we will be exploring the region that we've been detailing here in these world building sessions. So that's cool. So the other things to remember, thank you everyone for following us, having reached our 1,000 followers. That is fantastic.
Yep, we've just started.
Just starting. Absolutely. We need to, once we get to 2,000, then we'll be fine. We just need to catch up the Free League guys, really, don't we? But
yeah.
I'm not sure that's fun. And also, don't forget to check out that Diesel Shot Kickstarter from Pat and Lee and all the team over at Diesel Shot. They're already funded. It's absolutely fantastic. Funded within 5 hours. A crazy tidal wave of support. Let's keep that wave going, and people, please go and check that out. So also, please don't forget to check out all our social media. Our links are below in the about if you're watching on Twitch, and in the video description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, come and join us on Twitch. And if you're watching on Twitch, don't forget to come and like and comment on the video later on YouTube. You can join us on Discord to talk about all our shows, talk about role-playing in general, and loads of other stuff, including movies, TVs, and have a GIF battle with non-anomaly if you want to.
That you will lose.
That's cool. You will 100%
100%
lose, but you will enjoy losing. And also, please check out our Patreon. There's loads of cool stuff on there, loads of free stuff on there. But if you are interested in supporting the channel, then we do give out some pretty cool rewards. We get people involved in our world building and
the
our
next
communal...
Gar blog will be coming out soon. I'm going to be writing it this weekend.
There you go. Ben does a Gar blog. We're in May. We're also switching our world building event from Traveller to
Spectaculars.
Yep. So that'll be going on. So that's cool. That's a superheroes
And we
RPG.
have the launch of Garblag North America.
We do have the launch of Garblag North America, which will be next Tuesday as well, on May the 4th. Thank you for reminding me, Ben, with Escape from Skullcano Island, which is a level 12 D&D
Something
5th
like
edition
that. Yeah.
adventure with a two-headed King Kong on the front of the book. So what... well, I mean, that's just going to be
Matt's
amazing.
problem.
that is Matt's problem. I hear Evan's already trying to min-max his way to giving Matt a massive headache.
Oh, you say that, but I reckon Aaron's got something up his sleeve because he's very certain about his...
he's like, I'm going to be a Warforged
artificer armor.
Yeah, and it's like, boom.
He's solid.
I've been wanting to do this. It's like, curious.
What's your power? I have the hit points.
yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. We've been Garblag Games. Stay safe and happy gaming.
Good night.